In Berwick, they play the game of football at an early age. It's a blue-collar town where football is religion. And last week, the Bulldogs put their faith in a fourth-quarter running game, which produced 2 touchdowns and a 14-10 semifinal victory over Mannheim Central. All that now stands in the way of a second consecutive state title are the Perry Academy Commodores. Today, these two teams collide for Pennsylvania's Class 3A championship. You are looking at Hershey Park Stadium, where today the Berwick Bulldogs take on the Perry Academy Commodores for the Class 3A state championship. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Nugent, along with Chuck Howard, calling today's championship action. It snowed here in Hershey last night, about 2 inches. The field's not in the best of condition. Chuck Howard, how's that going to affect the teams?
Well, John, the coaches certainly aren't going to admit it before the game, but I think it will affect the game greatly. The field right now is nothing but solid ice. Come the third and fourth quarter, it's going to be a slush bowl. The Perry Commodores rely on speed on the perimeter as well as up the middle. As we all know, the Dogs play on grass all season, rely on power, rely on defense. The Dogs, I'd have to say, will have the early advantage if the field turns into slush or on the ice.
7 times Berwick has taken on an undefeated ball club. 7 times they've come away with a victory. Number 8 will mean their second consecutive state championship. When we come back, the opening lineups and the opening kickoffs. This is a WILU Sports exclusive.
The Sunday Independent has served northeastern Pennsylvania for over 85 years with coverage of national, state, and local stories of interest, features on the person next door, politics, social happenings of the Valley, classifieds, and, of course, sports. Speaking of local sports, the Sunday Independent doesn't miss a beat. The Sunday Independent is the largest paid circulation Sunday newspaper in Luzerne County and is available at your local newsstand. Or for home doorstep delivery, call collect 822-3111.
The First National Bank of Berwick is proud to be a part of the greater Berwick area. First National has played a vital role in the growth of our area for the past 125 years. We are pleased with the many activities and opportunities our area provides. That's one reason we continue to be a community bank and offer you the quality personal service you deserve. The First National Bank of Berwick, your full-service financial center for 125 years.
We are back live at Hershey Park Stadium. The coin flip has already taken place at midfield. Perry Academy has won the toss. They have elected to receive. The Berwick Bulldogs will defend the end to our right. Perry will receive to our left. Right now, both clubs receiving final instructions from the head coaches.
John, I think the Bulldogs going out on defense early on kind of works into George Curry's hopes, because the Dogs have relied on defense all season long, and I think they can establish themselves early with a sack and get an early turnover and put one up on the board early on. I think this plays right in the hands of the Bulldogs, especially with the icy and solid hard field.
Okay, it's an absolutely beautiful day for football here. Sunny skies, your weather conditions, temperature at 22 degrees here on Channel 22. Winds out of the southwest at 6. Sunny and cold. Down on the field, it's a bright sun, and it's kind of warm down there when we were down there earlier during pregame.
Not too bad.
We are just about set to go. Gus Cantonese, the head coach at Perry, had said earlier in the day that if he did win the coin flip, that he would elect to receive, whereas George Curry had told us that if he won the coin flip, that he would defer and play defense first. So he got his wish either way.
Both teams did, John. I think why Cantonese wanted to accept the balls because he's got his speedsters out there right from the start, and he wants to prove to Berwick that his team is not intimidated, so that they don't want to let on that they're intimidated. They want to establish themselves on offense early, as the Dogs want to establish themselves on defense.
John Bowman will be kicking off for the Berwick Bulldogs as he tees it up. Back deep is Lewis Clark. He is an all-everything on offense for this team. Number 42, Lewis Clark, your deep man. John Bowman once this season has put the ball in the end zone at a game against Pottsville. He gets good height on the ball, gets it down to about the 10-yard line. We're just about set for the Class 3A state championship. The Berwick Bulldogs looking to become the second Pennsylvania school, or the first Pennsylvania school to win back-to-back state titles. The Class 3A state championship is underway. The ball is loose. Maurice Turner in trouble. The Berwick defense takes him down at the 12.
Just nothing but pure speed and a swarming attack by the Bulldogs, as they've relied on all year. Big number 76, Steve Malowski, was down there, and he made the big stop.
On offense for Perry, Kevin Amin, number 15, he will run the offense. His big back is number 21, Ramon Hart. He will do the bulk of the running. There was one change at fullback, which was announced before the game. Khalil Kurges is in for
Lanier Freeman, John. That last change was because Freeman provides a better blocking scheme out of the fullback position for Perry.
I formation. This is Ramon Hart. He cuts it up and takes it to about the 15.
Marty Force came up on that play, as did Ryan Anderson out of his left defensive end position. Both those guys made the stop on Hart, and we're going to see Mr. Hart all day long because he is the heart of the Perry offense.
The ball is on the 15. They picked up a couple on that one. It'll be second and just about 8. Perry likes to spread out the Berwick defense. Once again, they come out in the eye. Amin calling signals. This time the pitch to Hart the other way, and Berwick smells it out. Gang tackling.
Just a great play there, John, by number 84, Jason Slusser. Just moved laterally along the line of scrimmage, and he dragged Hart down for a loss on the play.
3rd down and 10 now. If Perry has to go to a passing game, they could be in trouble. They're not very effective as a passing team. They're much better on the ground.
John, I wouldn't, if we see Perry throw the ball 5 times today, that would be a lot for them, because their heart and soul and bread and butter is Ramon Hart, the City League Player of the Year out of Pittsburgh. So we're going to see a lot of running game.
There's your Berwick defense. Ryan Anderson, Tom Robsock, Sean Carden, Jason Slusser, who made that big play, and Kevin Woodishek at the other end.
Heart and soul of the Berwick defense, John, is their linebackers. Their 2 leading tacklers in the middle. Dwayne Koch is the leading tackler, and Mark Haycock has great speed from his left inside linebacker slot. We're going to see those guys active all day long, and I wouldn't doubt if we see a lot of blitzing from George Curry, because their Perry offense isn't going to throw the ball much, so they're just going to sit back there and attack those running backs.
A good crowd has made the trip here to Hershey from Berwick to see their team. The first Pennsylvania school looking to win back-to-back state championships.
There's some discussion going on the far sideline. George Curry, calm right at the moment. When he speaks to referees, John, as we know, he's not calm all the time with them.
George Curry, widely respected around the state of Pennsylvania. He certainly has the record to prove it.
The referee from the band playing ball, Perry, is trying to call the signal.
Still, there seems to be quite a bit of confusion on the Berwick sideline right now.
Perry coach Gus Cantonese is out speaking to him.
We're told that there's some discussion about mouthpieces, and whether or not the Berwick players have their mouthpieces or the Perry team has mouthpieces. But that is what the discussion is about right now.
Coach Curry was, I'm told, John, that the referees came over to Coach Curry, asked him about mouthpieces. Some of the Berwick players did not have them. The referees did not want them to play without mouthpieces. They're insisting they do. That's the reason for the delay, and the equipment manager now is trying to come up with enough mouthpieces for the Berwick Bulldogs.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
I haven't seen that call, John, since maybe Pee Wee and midget football, where you sometimes forget that you're supposed to be wearing one. But early on we have a big penalty, and we'll see if it can work into the favor of the Perry offense, because early on they were having trouble running the ball, and this just might be the break that they need to get things going for them.
A lot of times these kids will have their mouthpieces hanging off their helmets and they won't put them in, and the referee will tell them to put their mouthpiece in. But the Bulldogs have been penalized.
15-yard penalty, first down for the Perry offense, John.
From the 27. This is Patton comes in motion. Amin slips and falls. So right there we see the poor field conditions.
Just nothing but a bad snap. Amin didn't get the ball right from the snap out of the center from Ted Carter, number 77, and almost a big turnover. So the Commodores lose several on that play, John.
They lose 3. Is now 2nd and 13.
On the Perry offense, they usually try to go over their big guys. Number 76, Dennis Martin, the left tackle, 6'3", 250, or Otis Townsend. That's Otis with a D. He's 6'3", 270 on the right tackle.
I formation for Perry. Amin again calls signals. Straight back to throw. He lofts it up. Out there is Lewis Clark, but he can't come up with an incomplete pass.
Plain and simple. Louis Clark, just a little straight ahead fly pattern down the middle. And I mean, when he throws that ball, John, it's not going to be on a straight line. It's going to be a looping pass. So I think if the Dogs can get out there and get some coverage over there, they can come under that ball, because Amin cannot throw the ball very hard.
Kelchner versus Amin, the 2 quarterbacks in this game. As you can see their statistics, Joe Kelchner, 14 touchdowns, just 8 interceptions. Amin, 8 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. So we will see Perry mostly run the football. 3rd and 13.
Got a blitz, Dwayne Cope.
The ball is loose.
Bulldogs have it, John.
Looks like Jason Slusser fell on it.
Let's see. Initially, Slusser had it. He may have lost it once he hit the ground. Looks like it's 4th down. The Commodores escape a big miscue right there, John. The guy who caused that play right from the start, Dwayne Cope, came on the blitz, and as I said at the top of the show, look for the Bulldogs to be blitzing all day long.
The Bulldogs have set the tone early on defense, forcing a punting situation. 4th and 19. From the 17, Lewis Clark back to punt for the Commodores.
Louis Clark is not that great a punter, John. Watch for this punt to be a line drive, especially with a cold toe on today.
Joe Kelchner back there, as is Kowalski. Kowalski lets it bounce, and the ball is touchdown at the 31-yard line.
At the 31-yard line, where the Bulldogs will take over.
So the Bulldogs will go on offense.
Must be Louis Clark had a warm toe that time, John, because he got a little altitude on it. Not a bad punt at all under these conditions.
In all the tapes and films that we looked at this week, Clark would punt a lot of low liners. That time he did get some good height on it.
42-yard punt by Louis Clark. Not bad. I'd look for the Dogs, John, to come out early on and just run it.
The Berwick offense, Kevin Woodashik at that tight end. Wenner, Robsock, Kacherka, Bowman, and Carden. Up front, split end is force. Quarterback Joey Kelchner with Dietrich, Kowalski, and Masic. Kowalski cuts it outside and gets himself a couple of yards.
That is the Bulldogs' bread and butter play right there, John. The old counter trap. They'll pull number 72, Brad Winter, off his left tackle spot. He'll go over and generally take out the left defensive end or the left cornerback, and he provides a big block there, and Kowalski picks up several.
Let's take a look at that Perry defense that the Berwick offense will be going against this afternoon. 2nd and 7, Harry Jackson, Martin, Townsend, and Sprocky are up front. Farrow, Hart, Coates, Walden, Tyler, and Clark are back. Kowalski once again spinning off tackles. Picks up a couple more. It's down at the 37.
Louis Clark came up and made that tackle, John. He had some help also from Maurice Turner.
Kowalski has rushed for over 800 yards this season. Along with Kelchner, he is the big runner in that backfield. So we're looking at a 3rd and 4 situation for the Bulldogs. Kelchner, the quick pass to Woodashek. He's got it. First down, Bulldogs.
Nothing special or fancy about that play. Kevin Woodashek and Marty Force are Kelchner's favorite receivers. Wodashik just simply broke off the line, about 5 yards, put his big paw up in the air, and Kelchner hit him.
Wodashik certainly serves as a big target for Kelchner. Goes about 215 pounds. Highly recruited. First down for the Bulldogs at the 47. I formation. Kelchner hands it off. This is Masic. And he picks up a couple more.
Flag down, John. More than likely a face mask from that angle. I believe that's what it is. Big number 75. Tommy Robstock calling for the face mask.
41. We have a face mask at the 15-yard penalty. You're going to take it?
Yes.
Okay, from the point of the spot. Face mask. Defense.
15-yard penalty brings the ball all the way down to the Perry 37. First down for the Bulldogs. In the last two ball games for Berwick, their offenses started out pretty slow. They didn't get it in gear until the second half, but here on their opening drive, they're looking good. Split backfield. Kelchner calling signals. Wodashik in motion. The handoff to Kowalski, and he's stopped right at the line. Might have even lost a yard.
That time, Brad Wenner, he made initial contact, but he got knocked on his butt by big number 71, Otis Perry, in there to cause havoc.
Second down and 11 for the Bulldogs, so they did lose one. Perry has only given up 25 points all season long, 8 shutouts, so the Bulldogs are going against a strong defense. No one in the backfield. Second and 11. Kelchner rolls left. He looks. He's got Force, but he drops the ball. Didn't look it in.
No, they had Force. They're wide open. Jason Slusser was also breaking across the middle. But Force just simply, I think he heard footsteps on that icy ground and just simply dropped it. He wouldn't have been close to the first down, but still would have picked up about 5 or 6.
Third down and 11 for the Bulldogs. The passing situation. Joe Kelchner has hit for almost 50% of his passes this season. He's more effective as a runner. Third and 11 from the 39. Kelchner back to throw. He's looking for Force, and it's incomplete.
A lot of time there, John, but Joey Kelchner just overthrew Force, who had broken across, found a little room in the seam over there, deep in the Perry secondary.
So that brings a fourth down situation, 4th and 11 for the Bulldogs. The ball is at the 39. Kelchner will go back in a punting formation. Lewis Clark is deep for Perry.
Receiving for Perry, deep is Lewis Clark and Maurice Turner.
Kelchner with a good punt. Clark the fair catch at the 10.
Fair catch single by Lewis Clark. Perry will put the ball in play. 1st and 10 from around 10
We have a
yards.
timeout on the field. Scoreless ball game in this Class 3A state championship. We'll be back in just a moment.
Wise Foods. Berwick proud.
Good afternoon. My name is Herb Wodashik, and I am proud to be a member of the Berwick community. Our heritage is over 200 years old and was of humble beginning. But look at us now. To our coach and our team, we are behind you. Go Dogs!
Wise Foods. Makers of Wise potato chips and other fine snacks.
Daytime, nighttime, anytime's the right time. Time Markets, we've got the time for you.
It's TV time. Time to head for Time Markets for a video and munchies like Pardo's Perky Peanuts and Cashews, fresh donuts, deli items, oven roasted chicken, Time Markets milk and bread, and fresh Maxwell House coffee, all from Time Markets.
We're back live at Hershey Park Stadium. Scoreless ball game, first quarter, 5:38 on the clock. Both clubs have had one possession offensively. And Berwick looked pretty good for a while there, but then they had to punt, as did Perry.
Yes, John. Early on, like I said, the big bread and butter play for the Bulldogs is that counter trap, or that buck sweep, they call it. And they were picking up some good yardage when they first got the ball, but then they went to the air, and subsequently they had to punt on 4th.
The Commodores will start from their own 10-yard line. Amin calls signals. This is Ramon Hart, and he's knocked back. He's going to lose a couple.
Ryan Anderson, early on, back there from his left end. Also, number 78, Sean Carden from the nose guard, got in there. And just early on, John, I see the Bulldogs controlling the line of scrimmage.
Pretty well. They're reading the rushing plays of the Perry Commodores, and Ryan Anderson certainly with a big play there. He has an unusual stat that he leads his team in, 14 pass deflection. A tall kid, plays basketball, and he's very effective, just a junior. I formation now. 2nd and 12 for the Commodores. This is Hart once again. Still tries to go off tackle. Woodishik's there to meet him.
Just nothing but a straight out blast. They're giving the ball to Ramon Hart. And again, number 86, Ryan Anderson. He's getting that first step. And he's making the big plays early.
3rd down and 11 from the 9. Passing situation for the Commodores, but down here on the 9-yard line, they may not want to take a chance, put the ball in the air. I formation. Receivers are split.
Blitz coming by Coke, John.
Amin throws it up, and Force with the interception at the 28.
Like you said, John, I am very surprised that Gus Canonese will go to the air this far back in his part of the field. Marty Force, who plays great cornerback for the Bulldogs, just simply stayed back there. And as I said, Amin likes to loft that ball up in the air. But there is a penalty, I believe. No, there isn't. First down for the Bulldogs.
Amin likes to throw the ball up high because his wide receivers are so tall. Marty Force, in great position, picks it off. Once again, we have a timeout out on the field. Scoreless ball game. Just under 4 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Berwick and Perry, scoreless.
If you use electric heat, this Alaska Stoker stove will save you up to $1,000 or more every year. This beautiful cast iron Stoker stove can heat your entire house and water, and you don't need to build a chimney. Plus, Alaska stoves are automatic. They burn up to 4 days at a time, and you never shake a grate. Alaska Stoker stoves. See one burning today. Call 1-800-HOT-BTUs for your nearest Alaska stove dealer. That's 1-800-HOT-BTUs.
This program is brought to you in part by Bennett's Restaurant, a pleasant interlude from the cares of the day. The Berwick Hospital, 16th Street, Berwick. Total Amusements Incorporated, Berwick. Cecil Schaefer representing Shenango Steel Buildings. ERA J.D. Kylan Company, Realtors and Insurance. Burger King Restaurants, Berwick and Bloomsburg. We say good luck, Bulldogs, in your attempt to bring home your 2nd consecutive state AAA championship. We are all proud of your accomplishments and say thanks for all the wonderful memories.
Back live at Hershey Park Stadium, scoreless ball game, just under 4 minutes to go, first quarter. Berwick on offense after the turnover. The interception by Marty Force. They're going to start off at Perry's 28-yard line, a golden opportunity to get some points on the scoreboard. I formation for the Bulldogs. Slusser moves into the wing. Nobody in the backfield. Kelchner rolls right. He's looking, tucks it in, and is stopped for no gain. Might have even lost a yard. Let's go down to Kevin Jordan now and check in with him.
John, the cleats that the Berwick Bulldogs are wearing are these. They're turf shoes. These are what they're using because of the icy field conditions. Later in the game, they'll switch to these if the field gets muddy. It's a rubber cleat. You can see the side of this one. It says Irish. This was sent by last year's state championship quarterback, Jake Kelchner. Back to you, John.
And Jake is very interested in the outcome of this game, of course, with his brother Joe calling the signals now. 2nd down for the Bulldogs. Once again, Kelchner throws out to the flat to Woodishik, breaks the tackle and stumbles down to the 16-yard line. Kevin Woodishek, the favorite receiver of Joe Kelchner. First down for the Bulldogs.
On that play, John, we see Woodishek just stepped across the line about a yard, was wide open there, and his strength, and just almost got knocked down there at the line, but he put his arm down on the ground, picked up a nice big play, and a first down for the Dogs.
Berwick in business from the 16. First and 10 for the Bulldogs. I formation. Kelchner calling signals.
That's encroachment, John. Number 76, Dennis Martin, for the Commodores. And in high school football, once you cross that line, it doesn't matter if the ball's snapped or not. It's encroachment right from the start. And Perry, a big penalty against them.
Encroachment on the defense.
First and 5 for the Bulldogs now from the 11. George Curry calls the plays on the sidelines, has a couple of messengers, brings them on in. Just about never you will see Joe Kelchner change a play at the line. He has one option on one play, and that is it. The play that Curry calls is the play that goes. First and 5 from the 11. This is Kelchner. He's going to keep it. He goes to the outside. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. And he's knocked down at the 4 and out of bounds.
The Commodores that time, John, went out of the split 6, and right from the start, that was Joey Kelchner's call.
Joe Kelchner, one of the leading rushers for this Berwick team all season long.
Here we see on slow motion, Chad Scrocky had a hand on him, John, almost got him in the backfield, but then there comes Louis Clark, who's an active guy defensively for the Commodores, came over and made the tackle, knocked him out.
First and goal for Berwick at the 4-yard line. Power football now. Watch them go straight ahead.
Got number 77, Robbie Burke, in the backfield. Look for him to follow, somebody to follow him up through the middle. Now they change formations.
This is Kowalski, and he's down at the goal line. No signal yet.
As I said, John, Robbie Burke was in number 77. He's a big kid, and he'll come in sometimes when they need that big power run, and they just followed him right up the gut.
Second and goal from the 1. And we have a timeout. So Berwick will have an opportunity to think about what they'd like to call right here. Perry, meanwhile, will have to devise their goal line defense.
That's number 42, Louis Clark, down, John. I got a feeling he just simply got underneath that big, huge pile. He had Robbie Burke coming out of the backfield at 6'4", 220 pounds. He's normally a tackle, but when he gets ahead of steam up, he can certainly make a big hole. I think probably Clark just had the wind knocked out of him.
Louis Clark, one of their key players. They cannot afford to lose him for any length of time.
The following PIAA items are available at the concession stands.
Perry, as we mentioned earlier, 8 shutouts this season on their way to a 12-0 record. They have only given up 25 points all season long.
8 shutouts on that as well, John, and that's just an extremely impressive stat. You know these guys can play defense, but early on, the Dogs are just simply winning the battle on the line, and that time the Commodores were all up close on the line, and the Dogs won the battle, plain and simple.
Well, Louis Clark looks like he's all right. He'll go to the sidelines, take care of business, and probably be back in this football game. So Berwick, second down at the 1. Scoreless ball game. The clock is running 1:05.
Watch Joey Kelchner, Johnny, on this. He'll normally take it right over Troy Kaczurka.
That's where he's going, right into the end zone, over Kaczurka. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
And that block of Troy Kaczurka, John, on that sneak is key every time. If Kaczurka makes the initial contact and moves that nose tackle, there's no stopping a one-yard gain and a touchdown by Joe Kelchner. As you can see, he just followed Troy Kaczurka, his center at 5'10", 210 pounds. And it's a 6-pointer for the Bulldogs on top early.
And Kelchner knows how to get into the end zone, knows how to make big scoring plays. He also kicks the extra point, and he's going to set up for this one now.
This should be interesting, John. Early on in the pre-game warm-ups, Kelcher was having trouble because he has a new pair of spikes on today, mostly rubber underneath there, and he wasn't making much contact when he was practicing early. It'll be interesting.
We have a flag.
I think that was encroachment by Perry.
Encroachment.
Time of that scoring drive. 3 minutes, 13 seconds, 5 plays, 28 yards.
Right.
Timeout by the Bulldogs, John. George Curry may be thinking of going for 2 here.
Each time George Curry calls a timeout, he likes to go out on the field and consult with his team on exactly what he's going to do instead of having his captain come over to the sidelines.
At 4 o'clock, AA football championship game on Floresville area ice.
Early on, John, I'd have to say I'm very impressed how the Bulldogs are moving the Perry big guys, Dennis Martin and Otis Townsend. They're just plowing them out of the way.
During the course of the season, whenever there has been a penalty on the extra point against the Bulldogs, they would go for 2 on that next play. So we'll see what happens here and what play they will call.
The Bulldogs haven't ran outside yet today, John, and I don't know if they will here. There's no reason to.
As George Curry likes to call it, it's smash face football, power football right up the middle.
Number 74, Johnny Bowman, I think was injured on that touchdown play, John. I think they're working on a foot or an ankle. Looks like he's got some ice on his shin. I'd have a big hot pack on there, not the ice today.
So the Bulldogs are going to go for 2. Kelchner calling signals. They shift into the eye with the wingman. The handoff to Kowalski, and he's in there.
Nothing but great second effort, John, by Joey Kowalski, number 53, the accelerator for the Perry Commodores. Ramon Walden made the initial stop behind the line, and Joey Kowalski just a power run. The Bulldogs are on top.
Off tackle once again, right behind their big line. So the Berwick Bulldogs take the early lead, 8-0, with just 53 seconds to go in this opening quarter. What will be interesting to note now is to see how Perry comes back in this game. Here's the replay on the 2-point conversion. The initial hit, and watch the leg drive by Kowalski.
You saw Ramon Walden come up and made that initial stop, but the problem was he tackled with the arms, John. As we all know, arm tackling, you're not going to win that battle hardly ever.
Bowman with the kickoff. It sails to the right. They're going to let it bounce, and they fall on it at the 25. So Perry's in business, 1st and 10 from their own 25. They have never been behind yet this season, has the Perry Commodores.
Just some impressive scores, John, as you go down their schedule. 25-0, 7-0. A lot of goose eggs on there. But the big problem as of late has been their offense, and early on it's been a problem for them here against the Berwick defense.
Berwick certainly has the momentum right now. 5 plays. Time of possession, 3 minutes, 13 seconds, a touchdown, 28 yards on that scoring drive for the Bulldogs. I formation once again for Perry. Patton goes in motion, and this is Hart, off tackle, and he gets some yardage to the 30.
Just a little crossbuck, a little counter-type play to Hart. And, a lot of people have told me, and you, John, that Hart just has a great feel for the game. He reminds you, as you said, and me, of an Eric Dickerson type running back. He doesn't hit the hole real hard, but he waits for his blockers.
Ramon Hart has rushed for over 1,300 yards this season while playing in the Pittsburgh City League. And he is an exciting runner, especially when he gets out in that open field. 2nd down and 5 for Perry. And that is the end of the first quarter, with the Berwick Bulldogs in the lead, 8-0.
The Villa Capri, home of the Bulldog Lounge, wants to take this time to say congratulations to the Berwick Bulldogs for their achievements this football season. Terry, Donna, Julie, and their staff invite you to enjoy dinner and drinks with your friends anytime during this holiday season. Celebrate at the Villa Capri, 11th and Mulberry Streets in Berwick. We're Bulldog proud.
The future of time is global. With computerized IQ, intelligent quartz, only from Seiko. At a touch, separate subdials wake you and give you precise quartz time in 21 cities worldwide. Automatically, it's global. The future of time is in our hands. Seiko.
Available at Nespoli Jewelers in Berwick. We are back live at Hershey Park Stadium. The start of the second quarter. The Berwick Bulldogs leading the Perry Commodores 8-0. And pretty much a game dominated by Berwick thus far. Second down and 5 for the Commodores at their own 30. They come out in the I formation once again. Ramon Hart, the workhorse of that backfield, picks up about 2 or 3. Third down now for the Commodores.
Tommy Robstock on that stop, John. Big guy just stayed low, fought through his block, and made a nice form tackle on Hart.
3rd and 3 from the 32. Dwayne Koch, the middle linebacker for the Bulldogs, their leading tackler and one of their leaders on that defense. Big play. I formation. 3rd and 3. Amin drops back, rolls. He's in trouble. Throws it up and incomplete, but we got a flag.
I think they're going to call Joey Kelchner a little push in the back, John, on number 83, Chad Scrocky. And again, Amin just back on his heels. Not a pretty pass, but when you got a guy that tall, that's all you have to do watching the replay. A little fake handoff to Hart, and Amin, under a heavy rush by the Bulldogs, just threw it up. And I don't know, I think Joe Kelcher just got caught on his own feet, and I don't think he really made much contact there.
In any event, the Commodores have a first down now at their own 47-yard line. As we mentioned earlier, the height differential between the receivers for Perry and the defensive backs for Berwick. 1st and 10 for the Commodores at the 48. Second quarter, Berwick in the lead, 8-0. Lone setback. The handoff. Down to the 48.
Straight ahead, the handoff, nothing fancy about that. Dwayne Koch made the eventual stop, but Hart picked up big yardage there. Number 76, Dennis Martin, had a big block on that play.
Now watch Kurges go off tackle here. Good leg drive and good gang tackling by the Bulldogs. 2nd and 5. The Commodores in Berwick territory. They're 48. Kurges once again off tackle. Wodashek gets him around the ankles.
Kalia Kurges. Tackle made by Kevin Wodashek.
Sean Carden made some contact back in the backfield, John, and slowed up Kurges.
3rd down situation for the Commodores. 3rd and 4 at the Berwick 46. Last 3 plays have lined up with the lone setback, that being Kurges. Amin calls signals. Straight back, the blitz is on, and they got him, Jason Slesher.
Jason Slusser on the sack, John. He's been doing it all year, 13 sacks on the year for Slusser, and he did nothing fancy, just fought through there. And a big play for the Bulldogs when the Commodores had their best drive of the game going. They're going to have to punt now for sure.
Amin straight back, gets the pressure. Slusser puts on the finishing touches.
A lot of Bulldogs were on the ball that time.
The Commodores in punt formation.
High snap, John, over the head of Lewis Clark. He picks it back up.
And he's knocked out of bounds at the 28. So once again, the turnover. Berwick in superb field position. We have a timeout. There's an injury down on the sidelines. A Berwick player is down.
Here's a replay right over the head of Louis Clark. The snap went, John, and Clark smartly picked it up instead of just falling on it, and picked up a little bit of yardage on it.
Eric Bauer is the player who is down on the sidelines. He's the one who made the hit on Clark.
Clark made the hit on Bauer. More than that, John.
He's a big kid, Lewis Clark.
Another big play, and in a championship ball game, and with weather like this, John, big plays and turnovers, miscues like that could mean the ball game, because there's not going to be much scoring today. And the Bulldogs starting out on their own 29-yard line, or excuse me, the Perry 29-yard line.
Second quarter, we have a timeout out on the field. Berwick leading Perry 8-0. We'll be right back.
The Sunday Independent has served northeastern Pennsylvania for over 85 years with coverage of national, state, and local stories of interest, features on the person next door, politics, social happenings of the Valley, classifieds, and, of course, sports. Speaking of local sports, the Sunday Independent doesn't miss a beat. The Sunday Independent is the largest paid circulation Sunday newspaper in Luzerne County and is available at your local newsstand or for home doorstep delivery. Call collect 822-3111.
The First National Bank of Berwick is proud to be a part of the greater Berwick area. First National has played a vital role in the growth of our area for the past 125 years. We are pleased with the many activities and opportunities our area provides. That's one reason we continue to be a community bank and offer you the quality personal service you deserve. The First National Bank of Berwick, your full-service financial center for 125 years.
We are back live at Hershey Park Stadium, second quarter, 9:16 on the clock. The Berwick Bulldogs leading the Perry Commodores 8-0. We're happy to say that Eric Bauer went off the field under his own power, and he will certainly be back in this ball game. There you see Bob Gobla and Dave Jones up in Chopper 22, providing some of our Skycam shots for this afternoon, our aerial shots from high above.
Dave Jones said peanuts and cocktails will be served in Chopper 22 about 2:30, so I don't think we're going to get up there.
So the Bulldogs are ready to go. 1st and 10 from the 29 of Perry. Kelchner calling signals. The man in motion. Kelchner back to throw. And he's got force once again. Down at the 16-yard line. Marty Forrest doesn't look like he's having any problem at all getting open this afternoon.
Marty Forrest just ran a simple little pattern, John, about 10 yards, and curl back, watching right here. Kowalski cleared the way for him, brought the cornerback up, and then right there is Marty, and Joe got it right on the numbers.
1st and 10 from the 16. Kelchner rolls to his right, heavy pressure. Kelchner turns the corner, and he's knocked down at the 16 for no gain.
Big defensive play there, John. Darnell Farrell on the stop, who eventually brought Kelchner down, but Chad Scrocky, 6'5", 195-pound right defensive end for the Commodores, forced Kelchner out of the pocket.
This is what it looks like from high above. You can see they did a pretty good job clearing this field of the snow. Chopper 22 and Bob Gobla providing you with these pictures, as is our cameraman Dave Jones.
The Commodores generally will go out of a 4-4, John. I haven't seen a blitz yet. It'd be interesting to see what comes here.
2nd and 10 for the Bulldogs at the 16. Kelchner again, back to throw. He throws it over the middle and incomplete.
That was Matt Mosich. Harry Jackson forced Kelchner to throw that ball a little early, but just a Kelcher just didn't get it there, plain and simple.
So a 3rd and 10 situation now for the Bulldogs at Perry's 16-yard line.
First quarter stats, John. Perry, -6 yards on 10 plays. Berwick, not a big advantage, but certainly.
We're going in the right direction. 3rd and 10 from the 16. Kelcher back to throw. Looks to the end zone, and it's incomplete.
Force took a big hit there, and there number 42 again, Louis Clark, made the big hit on Force. Force had it in the hands, but when you're up in the air and you get hit in the butt right there, it hurts, and it's tough to hang on to the ball.
Again, Kelchner's receivers seem to be open.
Kevin Wudashik came out of his tight end slot, broke to the left side, cleared things out. Marty Force came back inside, and he was there, but took a hard hit, as we said, from Clark.
4th and 10 from the 16. Bulldogs are going to go. Kelchner, straight drop back. Goes for the end zone, and it is intercepted.
That's number 42, Louis Clark.
Clark brings it out. He's at the 25, 26, 27-yard line before he's brought down. So a big defensive play by the Commodores, and this might be what they need to get going here in the 2nd quarter.
Well, Kelchner kind of, you could read that baby coming all the way. He had his bread and butter man, Wudashik, just streaking towards the end zone, and that's all nothing but a timing pattern. Joe lets it fly, and he hopes that Kevin's going to be there, but there was double coverage over there in the left side of the end zone, and kind of tough to get it in there, but nonetheless, the Bulldogs are going to the air, somewhat of a surprise to me early on, John. Here we see it again, slow motion. Nice play by Clark, for sure.
As we come back, Perry starts from their 26. This is Amin, and he's brought down all the way back at the 20-yard line.
Kevin Wudashik, I believe, John, with the big play there. 3 sacks on the year. Make it 4 now for Kevin. I think Ramon Hart, I believe it was, John, slipped, and Amin missed the handoff to him, and that kind of fouled things up right from the start.
In big games, you need your big players to come through, and Kevin Wudashik's coming through with some big plays defensively. 2nd down and 15 from the 26. The shotgun. Amin throws it over the middle, incomplete.
Hit Chris Patton right in the feet there, John. Commodore just sent 4 guys straight out. Everybody went about 10 yards, stopped, and Amin had the pick of the litter right there, and he chose Patton, but a low throw by Amin.
It looked like Patton was a secondary receiver. Hart was circling out of the backfield. He appeared to be open somewhat on the sidelines, but Amin elected to go for a short man over the middle. 3rd down and 15 from the 26 for the Commodores. They need a big play here. Amin in the shotgun. He looks out to the flat. Here's Hart, and he takes a heavy hit. He's still on his feet on the sideline, knocked out at about the 36. That was the same pass route he ran on the previous play, and this time Amin saw him, and this time he hit him.
Amin put the ball right on the numbers. He took a stiff hit right at the end of the play by Gary Campbell, but you saw Hart's power. Little wobbly throw, but nonetheless, Amin got it there. Big hit by Gary Campbell, and Hart stays on his feet.
So a 1st down for the Commodores now. Well, they're going to measure. It's tough to see exactly where the ball has been placed here on the near sidelines. Waiting for the indication, and it is indeed a 1st down.
On that play, John, number 83, Chad Scrocky, came out of his split end position, and I think the Bulldogs were looking for that big lob pass to 6'5" Scrocky, and Amin kind of threw a curve at him.
1st down for the Commodores, 36-yard line. High formation. Hart slips in the backfield, cuts to the outside, and the Bulldogs are there.
Marty Force came all the way across the field, John, from his left cornerback position, strung it out, and good pursuit by the Dogs. Hart having trouble early, it seems, with his footing.
Loss of 2 on the play to be 2nd down and 12.
It's the second time we've seen Hart slip like that.
As you mentioned earlier, they played most of their games this year on turf. They're not used to the grass, natural surface out here, so that could be a problem for them. 2nd and 12, a minute in the shotgun. Throws out to the flat, he's got his man.
That's Ramon Hardigan on the reception.
So it appears the Commodores are going to go to the passing game to move the football. Their first couple of possessions, they could not run, so now they're going to the pass.
Eric Bauer back into the game there, made the tackle on Hart. Out of the shotgun, the Commodores are going now, and it seems to be working. Berwick coming with a lot of pressure, and the shotgun, obviously Perry has to go with it.
Another 3rd down play, 3rd and 4 from the 42. Amin's going to call a timeout. He looked out at his receivers, didn't like what he saw, so decided to call the timeout. There is a timeout out on the field. The Berwick Bulldogs leading the Perry Commodores here in the 2nd quarter, 8-0. We'll be right back.
TV time. Time to head for Time Markets for a video and munchies like Pardo's Perky Peanuts and Cashews, fresh donuts, deli items, oven roasted chicken, Time Markets milk and bread, and fresh Maxwell House coffee, all from Time Markets.
Hair loss is something that affects men of all ages. With the help of Toesies, you can look younger and feel better and lead the active lifestyle to which you are accustomed. Toesies hair technicians are trained in the latest methods of hair replacement, including the ultra-secure method of hair weaving. So what are you waiting for? Call Toesies today. Phone 693-3276 for free private consultation. Evening appointments are available. Toesies Hairstyling, 133 Slocum Street, Exeter.
We are back live, 3rd and 4 situation. Lewis Clark takes the pass out in the flat. He still struggled. He's got the 1st down. All the way down to the 45-yard line into Berwick territory. Another big 3rd down play by the Commodores.
Amin simply just swung Clark out of the backfield, hit him, and Clark just got that all on his own. He was stopped for no gain initially, but he picked up a big gain all on his own. You see Amin look to the left side, and you see Clark right there. Marty Force arm tackle, and as I said early on, arm tackling is not going to get the job done for you. Clark, a big gain, eventually big number 78 for the Dogs. Sean Carden all the way over from the nose tackle spot, got him, showed good speed for the big man.
1st and 10 for the Commodores in Berwick territory at the 45. Patton comes in motion, him in the shotgun. And the pass down the middle, it is incomplete.
Great defensive play there over the middle, John. Number 29, Eric Bauer, up, you know, for a little guy compared to those big guys, Scrocky and Woods. He got up there and knocked the pass away, but I mean, pretty much not a real smart pass into double coverage right there.
Good pressure by the Bulldog defense. They've been coming all day for Amin, and he's a good scrambler. He can move back there when he wants to.
He's quick. He's one of their leading rushers on the season.
Once again, Bob Gobla circling Hershey Park Stadium. Cameraman Dave Jones with those beautiful shots on this beautiful day. Here is a final. Dunmore beat Keystone in the Class A championship 57-18. Congratulations to the Dunmore Bucks. 2nd down. Amin throws. The ball is deflected and incomplete.
For the 2nd straight play, Eric Bauer in on the play. Amin had to hurry and get rid of it, and Bauer made the big deflection.
So again, the Commodores find themselves in a 3rd down situation. It seems like they make the big play on 3rd down. Maybe they should play football 3rd down all day long if they want to get that offense cranked up.
Perry's called timeout. They're going to talk it over. Big 3rd down play.
Timeout. Perry.
It's a Timeout by the Commodores. 4:34 on the clock. 3rd down and 10.
Early on, John, we're seeing the Commodores going to the pass as we see Space Link 22. Bob Bridges, captain of the Space Link unit.
That truck right there are bringing you these pictures right now. Space Link 22.
As I was saying, John, the Commodores going to the air early, kind of getting out of their usual game pattern, but they are still going to their big man most of the time, Ramon Hart. Or he's been doing it mostly catching the ball than running it.
Watching tapes last night, we thought if they had to go to a passing game today, they'd be in a lot of trouble. But so far, their passing game has been what has brought them up and down the field thus far.
They aren't winning the battle of the line of scrimmage, so I think they've, I don't know, I won't say they've scrapped their ground game early on, because at any time, Ramon Hart, who averages 122 yards a game, can explode and hurt you.
3rd down, 10. Commodores on the offense. I'm in the shotgun. Straight back. Heavy pressure by Woodashek. Thrown up, and the ball is incomplete.
Great job by Kevin Woodashek, John. Came in there like a madman. And defense, when you a good pass rusher, you've got to have an attitude. And I mean, you've got to have the type of attitude where you want to get to that quarterback. Not a bad attitude, but a nasty attitude, so to speak, football sense. And Woodashek showed it right there. Came in and forced Amin to get rid of it early.
4th down situation for the Commodores now at the Berwick 45.
With only 4:29 here, John, left in the first half. 4th down. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe something tricky here by the Commodores, but they might want to try to pin Berwick in.
Let's watch Lewis Clark. He's going to kick it. Kelchner, the lone back, is going to let it roll, and the ball goes out of bounds at the 19. So Lewis Clark didn't have the greatest kick there, but it worked. He got the roll, and Berwick in poor field position right now. So the Bulldogs on the offense. 1st and 10 from their own 18.
I think here, John, late in the first half, you're going to see the Dogs try to establish a nice long drive, and I wouldn't be surprised to just see them keep it on the ground and try to ground it out about 4 minutes and try to get maybe a field goal and definitely another touchdown before the half.
Bulldogs certainly have the personnel for those long drives. In the Dunmore game, the Eastern Conference Championship, who can forget that 4th quarter drive where they ran the clock out, 8:25 to go in that Dunmore game, and they ran it right out. Split backfield now, 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. The handoff, this is Mosic, and he takes it to the 25.
Louis Clark on the tackle there, John. Matt Mosic came out of his flanker position, just took the inside handoff. On the season, we see Matt Mosic 500 yards rushing, and last week, the big touchdown for the Bulldogs in their win over Mannheim Central.
He really was a factor in that second half last week, specifically the 4th quarter, and he did have that winning touchdown. 2nd down and 4 for the Bulldogs. This is Kelchner. Looks for the option, keeps it, and it's brought down by Ramon Hart.
Tackle made by Ramon Hart.
Most college scouts say, John, Ramon will play Division I football as a linebacker or a defensive back before he plays as a running back, and right there Ramon showed why.
And he may meet Joe Kelchner on that Division I level all week long. The scouts have been in and out of Berwick looking at Joe Kelchner. We're told they're looking at him as a Division I defensive back. 3rd down situation, 1 yard to go for the Bulldogs. I formation. This is Kowalski. He's got the 1st down and then some to the 35.
Maurice Turner on the stop. The Bulldogs lined up with power on the right side. Kevin Woodashek, Sean Carden was in at a tackle, and I think the Commodores looked for the Bulldogs to come over right tackle, but the Bulldogs switched it up and they took Kowalski right up the gut.
1st down for the Bulldogs, 35, 2:55 on the clock.
Here we see it again. Shane Dietrich with a nice block in the backfield there that sprung Kowalski. 1st down for the Dogs.
Kelchner back to throw, out to the flat once again. The pass is complete to Marty Force.
Marty Force just took Louis Clark. Louis Clark stopped, and Marty looked right back. Mike Coates eventually on the tackle.
Another Bulldog first down. Watch Force. He looks it in, then he looks upfield.
Force initially started to break it downfield, stopped and came back, and he fooled Louis Clark.
1st and 10 from the 46. Kelchner looks left, throws right, but his arm is hit at the line.
Under a big rush there by Chad Scrocky, all-city player for the Commodores in Pittsburgh, and he showed why right there as Kelchner was releasing the ball. Scrocky up and over, all 6'5" of him.
A short drop by Kelchner on that play brings up 2nd down, 10 yards to go.
Here we see it again on replay. Scrocky pretty much untouched until he got into the backfield, just his power.
Ball at just about the 48, Berwick's 48. Lone setback is Mosic. Kelchner calls the signals. Sets up, throws, got his man. Ball comes loose. Ball is still loose.
That should be a fumble, John.
We're waiting for a call from the referee. Still no indication.
It was a fumble on the play.
Let's check on the replay.
Here we see Kelchner back. He had Wudashik wide open, and boy, it's going to be close. And I guess the referees are calling it just an incomplete pass,
which will bring up 3rd down at the 49.
He took a heck of a shot there from Ramon Walden. He calls himself the Accelerator. We'll get to that in a little while. He made a big pop from his right outside linebacker slot.
3rd and 9 for the Bulldogs at the 49. Kelchner, short drop, slips, throws it up, Force out there, and
Force hung on to it.
He's got it. Looks like another 1st down.
Nothing but pure concentration by Marty Force. He had number 42, Louis Clark, right in his face. Clark popped him, and Force hung on to it.
Well, this is exactly what the Bulldogs wanted to do.
There's a flag down, however, John. More than likely it's going to be holding.
You see the yellow flag in the backfield. That is generally what it is. They're talking to the Perry team right now. You can see some of that big crowd on hand for this game. Thousands from Berwick made the trek to Hershey for the big game.
Big penalty right there.
It is holding.
Holding. Offense.
Referee Ron Callop with a call.
So the Commodores accept the penalty, brings the ball all the way back to the 33.
The last several plays, John, we see the Commodores coming with the best pressure they've had all day.
From Berwick's home 33-yard line.
The Bulldogs, to get a 1st down, will have to advance all the way into Commodore territory to the 41. So we'll call it 3rd and 25. See what they come up with. And they're just going to play it safe. Kelchner on the sneak for about a yard.
That was nothing but big Otis Townsend, John, right over the top. And if he gets a little momentum going, it's going to be tough to stop Otis. He just plain and simple said, Joe, you're not coming over me, and he popped him. Just ran right over Troy Kacherka.
Minute 30 to go here in the 2nd quarter. The Bulldogs will have to punt away. Berwick holding on to that lead, 8-0.
1:20 to go in the 1st half.
Maurice Turner, Louis Clark are back deep for Perry. We got a whistle.
Movement on the right side. Kevin Wudashik moved a little bit early for the Dogs. It's going to take him back another 5.
We have no flag, no one in the neutral zone.
I take that back. It will not be 5 against the Bulldogs, John. I thought Kevin Wudashik moved a little bit early, but from his right end position, he can.
In any event, Kelchner still has to punt. Turner and Clark are still deep, and there's a minute 7 to go in this 2nd quarter. Kelchner's punt, held up by the wind. They let it bounce, and they're going to down it at just about the 44-yard line. So the Commodores have just under a minute to get something going here late in the second quarter, trying to get some points on the board. We'll see what kind of offense they'll have in this final minute.
Now, coming into this game, John, everybody was talking about Perry as being a big option team. We have yet to see the option, load, belly, or any type of option from Perry.
1st and 10 for the Commodores at their own 44-yard line. Flags on the play, everybody jumping. We'll let the referees sort this one out.
I got dead ball, false start on the offense.
So the Commodores got to move back another 5 yards. 1st and 15 now from just about their 40-yard line. The clock is running. Just about 40 seconds to go. I'm in the shotgun once again. Low snap. I'm in. He's got a man out there wide open, Lewis Clark. He's got the first down at the 40 and knocked out of bounds at the 37.
Chad Scrocky, I think it was, John, on the reception. Joey Kelchner had to come all the way over, and John Wharton helped him out to make the stop. And just a big, big play. Scrocky was wide open over there on the right flat. I mean, showed a lot of poise and got it in there.
1st and 10.
Here you see Scrocky. Low snap. I mean, almost lost it.
All right, get the tee ready.
He hung in there nicely.
Scrocky wide open on the play. 1st down, Commodores at the 39. They move into the I. Clark in motion. Amin almost slips. Throws out here to Clark. He slips one tackle. He's down at the 35 and knocked out of bounds.
Okay. Right.
Gary Campbell over on the stop.
Gary Campbell.
And we know the Commodores will go for the field goal, John, if they have to. Probably run another play and get it ready for big Denny Martin.
Dennis Martin's longest field goal of the season is 40 yards. A soccer-style kicker for the big kid that he is. So he's got a little power in that foot. We'll see if they can get it into position to get some points on the board. 2nd and 5 from the 34. I'm in the shotgun once again. Straight back. Looks for Woods. Pump fake. It's deflected, and it is intercepted.
Number 29, Eric Bauer, in on the interception. And great pressure there by number 58, Dwayne Koch, the Bulldogs' leading tackler on the season. Koch has 117 tackles, and he has 13 sacks, and he forced that play right there. And I mean, it really shouldn't have gotten rid of the ball, and it cost the Commodores a chance at 3.
Amin was looking for Joe Woods. It was an out and up, but his arm was hit. And Eric Bauer, who was injured earlier in this game, comes back and makes the big interception. We'll look at it one more time. The pump fake, the hit, and the interception.
I don't know, John. I think I could have caught that one. I don't know about you. But Bauer hung in there. On the season, you see 44 tackles, 4 interceptions coming into this game, and the Bulldogs dodge a big bullet, and they're on top 8-0 at the half.
So the first half has come to a close. The Berwick Bulldogs are leading the Perry Commodores 8-0. Momentarily, we will join J.J. Davis at the half. He will have Dunmore highlights and a feature on the woman behind the coach, Mrs. George Curry. 8-0, Berwick in the lead. We'll see you in a few minutes.
How do you improve on a legend? You begin a new one. Introducing the 1990 Lincoln Town Car, the most luxurious town car ever built, with more interior room, more luggage space, and a 5-liter V8 engine. Plus, a combination of technological features that other luxury cars don't offer, like speed-sensitive steering, electronic air suspension, and optional anti-lock brakes. Its luxury has been retained, its technology advanced. See the new Lincoln Town Car at your Lincoln Mercury dealer now.
Wise Foods. Berwick proud.
Hi, I'm Steve Phillips, Executive Director of Berwick's Industrial Development Association. Berwick has had a proud past, and we're looking for an industrious future. With continued community support, both the community and the Bulldogs will continue to succeed.
Wise Foods, makers of Wise potato chips and other fine snacks.
It's halftime at Hershey, and so far, so good for the Bulldogs. A very pleasant good afternoon, everybody. I'm J.J. Davis. Berwick leads Pittsburgh Perry by a score of 8-0. They are at the half, and so far it's been a game of turnovers. However, it's still very much anybody's ball game. The second half should be wild. And speaking of wild, how about that Dunmore game? When Jack Henza said the Bucks would bring home the championship, he wasn't kidding. It was a cold and snowy morning, but it didn't matter. Dunmore came out on fire. Dave Silvestrini. The cheering begins 7-0 Bucks. Later in the first, Marquez to Garvey, and number 20 makes like a runaway freight train and finally is just tripped up. Tom DePietro then walks on in, and it's 13-0 Dunmore, and no, Hank Williams Jr. was not there. Second quarter, time for the Bull. Dave Silvestrini rambles on in, 19-0 Bucks, and still later, Tom Golden races in. Dunmore led 25-6 at the break.
But we got to get a little more pressure on them defensively. Jeremy's doing an excellent job throwing the football against them. They're going to come out the second half throwing the ball every play. So we're going to have to be, we're going to get a pass lane. The rush lane is a little bit better than what we have at the present time, and hopefully we can just stay on top of them.
It really didn't matter what the defense did, though. Look at this play. Nice. Gets up and gives a holler. The offense could simply not be stopped. Dunmore went on to just crush Keystone 57-18. It was easy, huh? They are partying in Bucks country tonight. And of course, that's not all. The state AA game gets underway in just a short while. Unbeaten Montoursville will shoot it out with Hickory. The Warriors come marching in at 14-0. They are led by quarterback Mark Musina. The senior is a threat, as you can see, whenever he touches the ball. Now, Hickory, like Montoursville, has some big-time talent as well.
They have a real good running back, and we have to stop him. Can we get out? When they get him outside, can we tackle him? That's the big thing there. He's a little bit faster than the kid was last week at Bethlehem Catholic.
The Warriors are no slowpokes themselves. Watch Dave Bremigan. And then there was Mike Kutney. The junior got hurt.
I think it did. It gave us a push to strive for what he has done over the season. Since we lost him, I guess it did give us a pretty good push.
Montoursville has pushed its way into its first ever state final. Will the Warriors pass the test? One thing is for sure, the team is level-headed.
We try not to treat it as a bigger game, get overconfident or anything. We're just practicing like we normally do.
So there you have it. Montoursville goes charging in against Hickory for the state 2A championship. Game time, 4 o'clock. But of course, the big one is halfway through. Berwick leads Perry 8-0. Now, what about the Commodores? Where do they come from? For more, here's Chuck Howard.
It appears to be almost like a jewel tucked away among modest surroundings in Pittsburgh's north side. In fact, it is considered the rock of Pittsburgh's education system. Perry Traditional Academy, a math and science magnet, has an enrollment of approximately 800 students. 800 of the best Pittsburgh has to offer.
What makes our school is the youngsters that come here. We have well, first of all, we have an excellent teaching staff, but the quality of youngster that comes to our school, they come here because they want to come here. The parents feel they're going to get a good education at our school. So they're motivated not only from the teachers, but also from their parents and from the home. So we have just well-motivated youngsters.
Since Perry is a magnet school, students must apply for admission, and they also must keep at least a C average at all times. To attend the school, academics have to be as much a priority as football.
I take pride, we take pride in our studies, because we don't want to be on the streets just loafing around and everything with nothing else to do. So, you know, I feel good about myself and everything, and, you know, get my grades and everything established in school. Feel good.
It's one of the better schools in the city. The teachers, a lot of good schools in the city. Obviously, we feel that Perry is one of the better schools. It's a great place to get an education. It's a small school, under 800 students, a nice, close faculty to student ratio, and the kids seem to enjoy it.
Most kids who go to inner city schools generally don't continue their educations upon graduation, but here is another area where Perry Traditional Academy sets itself apart. 75% of its graduates go on to some form of secondary schooling.
Usual average city school, 40 to 50% of the youngsters will go on to further education. So when you get up around over 75%, that's real good.
Like Berwick, Perry has a pretty good football tradition of its own, numerous city championships that span 57 years. The Commodores have been making the grade on the football field while getting the grades off it. I'm Chuck Howard with you in Pittsburgh for the Halftime Report.
Nice to see for a change, isn't it? Thanks, Chuck. I'll have more from Studio Control in Scranton right after this.
The First National Bank of Berwick is proud to be a part of the greater Berwick area. First National has played a vital role in the growth of our area for the past 125 years. We are pleased with the many activities and opportunities our area provides. That's one reason we continue to be a community bank and offer you the quality personal service you deserve. The First National Bank of Berwick, your full-service financial center for 125 years.
We make the best Stoker stoves today. A 4-day burn leaves you with more leisure time. You never shake a grate. There's no dust to clean up. It's totally automatic. There's no overheating or chimney fires. Does your old stove do this for you? It's time you got an Alaska Stoker stove. See one burning today. Call 1-800-HOT-BTUs for your nearest Alaska stove dealer. That's 1-800-HOT-BTUs.
When there was just basic Blue Cross and Blue Shield, the toughs were covered. Over the years, our family grew, and so did the services of Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Options today include major medical, access care, HMO, and universal managed care. And we're getting ready to protect future generations like Stephanie and Philip and the newest tough, Jeffrey Dean. Get Blue Cross and Blue Shield and stay healthy.
This program is brought to you in part by Bennett's Restaurant, a pleasant interlude from the cares of the day. The Berwick Hospital, 16th Street, Berwick. Total Amusements Incorporated, Berwick. Cecil Schaefer representing Shenango Steel Buildings. ERA J.D. Kylan Company, Realtors and Insurance. Burger King Restaurants, Berwick and Bloomsburg. We say good luck, Bulldogs, in your attempt to bring home your second consecutive state AAA championship. We are all proud of your accomplishments and say thanks for all the wonderful memories.
We are back here at Studio Control in Scranton. Berwick leads Perry 8-0. Now, of course, there's a big college game taking place in the Meadowlands. Army-Navy. It doesn't get any better.
It's been a war that's been going on for 89 years. Army has had its heroes like Mr. Inside, Felix Doc Blanchard in the mid-40s. Navy, Roger the Dodger Staubach in the early 60s. And who's winning the battle? Well, the cadets have been as stubborn as mules with 41 victories. The middies, no goats themselves, also with 41 wins. Army-Navy just about set to get underway.
Now, we will be joining the big battle right after our coverage of the state 3A championship game, which brings us to our final story. It is about a husband and wife team that could beat anybody. Their main weapon? Love.
George King Kong Curry, a King Kong of a man with a bulldog of a heart.
What's it like to be his wife?
Well, it's nice. It's different. I mean, other wives, they know when to plan their suppers and everything like that. We come in, we eat at different times, you know, and when he comes home, I thank God for microwaves.
Yes, he was a rough, tough jock from Larksville, and she was a sweet, reserved thing from Wanamaie. They met. They got married. And then came the honeymoon.
We got married 2 days after our Thanksgiving Day football game, so I didn't get a chance to look at the films. So I took him on a honeymoon. And,
Well, I thought, well, I don't know what I thought.
I might as well get used to it now.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you what, though, we had every couple in Mount Airy Lodge watching the Lake Lehman Dallas football game.
And the rest is, you know, history. He started a dynasty in Bulldog country, and she started a home on Summerhill Avenue.
He went to practice, he did his thing, I did mine. And that's how we still are. I mean, I know where he is. He's not in bar rooms. He's not carousing.
I don't hang out in bars. I don't belong to any clubs. If I'm not with my football team or something affiliated with the school, I'm with my family.
And we enjoy dancing. You know, we still do. We go out a lot dancing and...
So do you have happy feet and he has happy feet?
Oh, yeah, he's a good dancer.
King Kong?
Oh, definitely.
Given the right moment and the right situation, I like the polka dance, I like the jitterbug, and, you know, I enjoy that stuff. But
Can she keep up with you?
oh, yeah. Yeah, she's a good dancer.
He's more outgoing. Yeah, he's a very outgoing person. He loves people, and he loves his kids.
Give me another fullback! Banana! They say when you pick a woman, they usually have the qualities of your mother. Freud or one of the psychologists, I read that somewhere. And she's a good cook. She had a lot of patience. She's down to earth. She's not the kind that's going to try to think she's better than anybody. I think it's worked because she believes in what I'm doing and allows me the opportunity to devote myself to my profession. She understands my profession. She understands me. She's an understanding woman, believe me. She's going to heaven, JJ. She got a non-stop ticket to heaven.
It's okay.
Would you do it all over again?
Oh, definitely.
With him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, nobody else.
But the game film's got to go.
Yeah, that would have to go a second time around, you know.
George King Kong Curry. A King Kong of a man with a bulldog of a heart.
What's it like to be his wife?
Wonderful. Simply wonderful. No wonder Berwick always wins. And that just about wraps things up from here. Coming up after this commercial break, the second half of the State 3A Championship. Have a good day, everybody.
The Sunday Independent has served northeastern Pennsylvania for over 85 years with coverage of national, state, and local stories of interest, features on the person next door, politics, social happenings of the Valley, classifieds, and, of course, sports. Speaking of local sports, the Sunday Independent doesn't miss a beat. The Sunday Independent is the largest paid circulation Sunday newspaper in Luzerne County and is available at your local newsstand or for home doorstep delivery. Call collect 822-3111.
Daytime, nighttime, anytime's the right time. Time Market, we've got the time for you.
It's TV time. Time to head for Time Markets for a video and munchies like Pardo's Perky Peanuts and Cashews, fresh donuts, deli items, oven broasted chicken, Time Markets milk and bread, and fresh Maxwell House coffee, all from Time Markets.
After you've produced the yearly report in record time, after you've made order out of paperwork chaos, after you've turned the slideshow into a colorful part of your winning proposal, and seen productivity become top priority, maybe after all that you'll know why Canon is the most popular copier in America. From personal to color laser copying, the choice is Canon.
GBM, where knowledge and service make the difference.
This program is brought to you in part by Bennett's Restaurant, a pleasant interlude from the cares of the day, the Berwick Hospital, 16th Street, Berwick, Total Amusements Incorporated, Berwick, Cecil Schaefer representing Shenango Steel Buildings, ERA J.D. Kylan Company, Realtors and Insurance, Burger King Restaurants, Berwick and Bloomsburg. We say good luck, Bulldogs, in your attempt to bring home your second consecutive state AAA championship. We are all proud of your accomplishments and say thanks for all the wonderful memories.
It is halftime here at Hershey Park Stadium. The Berwick Bulldogs leading the Perry Commodores 8-0. Chuck Howard, your impressions of that first half?
The biggest thing that surprised me, John, was the way that Perry went to the passing attack there. And they surprised Berwick, I think, by bringing Ramon Hart out of the backfield. They hit him on a couple of passes, and Chad Scrocky had a big reception there towards the latter part of the first half there. But that really surprised me. We didn't see the option at all from Perry, but the line of scrimmage early on was run by the Berwick Bulldogs, but Perry came on and their line play improved.
And Perry went into the shotgun. We didn't see that offense in anything we saw all during this week when we checked the films.
And I'm sure that surprised the Bulldogs as well. And as the Bulldog pressure came in on Amin early on, the Perry adjusted and they went to the shotgun, and it worked for him.
When you check the first half statistics, there is one glaring difference, and that is in the rushing yards, where Perry, a -18, Berwick just has 38, but they do have the edge there.
That is a surprise with Ramon Hart, the All-City Player of the Year. Only, negative yardage rushing certainly is a shock, but you see 65 passing yards for Perry, and I really didn't think that they could even get that much.
Of course, the turnovers are critical in a big game. Berwick has yet to turn the ball over. Perry has turned it over twice.
Yes, and those were interceptions by Amin back on his heels when he just threw a couple up that he really shouldn't have thrown. And, the Bulldogs came down with big interceptions.
Okay, second half coming up. Berwick's leading 8-0. What do you think we're going to see?
I think we're going to see the Bulldogs come out and just simply grind it out. I don't think they'll go to the air too much as long as they have an 8-0 lead. I think with the cold weather, they're going to want to just play power, smash-face football. And Perry, it depends if they're down late, they're going to have to go to the air probably and stick with their air attack because they certainly aren't getting it done up front.
And adjustments from George Curry?
Adjustments, I think you'll see George a little more pressure because he knows that Perry's going to have to go to the air again. I think we'll see some more blitzing. And the Bulldogs are getting some good end play from Ryan Anderson. Had a great first quarter coming in. And we also saw Jason Slusser with a couple big plays from the end slot for the Bulldogs.
It certainly should be an exciting second half. The Berwick Bulldogs going for their second consecutive state championship. They would be the first Pennsylvania team to do so. When we come back, we'll have that second half kickoff and also some comments from the head Bulldog, George Curry.
The Villa Capri, home of the Bulldog Lounge, wants to take this time to say congratulations to the Berwick Bulldogs for their achievements this football season. Terry, Donna, Julie, and their staff invite you to enjoy dinner and drinks with your friends anytime during this holiday season. Celebrate at the Villa Capri, 11th and Mulberry Streets in Berwick. We're Bulldog proud.
Wise Foods, Berwick proud.
Hello, my name is Jane Almashat. The Berwick area is one of the finest places in which to live and raise a family. It is second to none. Bulldogs, in our hearts, you are and always will be the greatest.
Wise Foods, makers of Wise potato chips and other fine snacks. Today's WYOU TV Sports Special is brought to you by the First National Bank of Berwick, your community bank that gives you quality personal service. Time Markets, we've got the time for you. Alaska Stoker Stoves, call 1-800-HOT-BTUs. The Sunday Independent has served northeastern Pennsylvania for over 85 years. Good luck, dogs. And by Wise Foods, makers of Wise potato chips and other fine snacks.
We're back live at Hershey Park Stadium. The Berwick Bulldogs lead the Perry Commodores 8-0 as we're getting set for the second half. The Bulldogs are back out on the field, loosening up in the end zone to our left. The Perry Academy Band out there on the field. And Bob Gobler and our cameraman Dave Jones high above Hershey Park Stadium, bringing those great pictures in that first half. Good job, guys, up top. And I should add that we have 38 of our employees who have been down here for 2 days doing a super job, getting us these pictures, getting this place set up. Good job to the guys on the field and back in the truck.
One thing
they look good.
One thing they could have done for us, John, is maybe brought us up a sandwich or something at the half. But We'll get one afterwards, boys. Great job, everybody.
Gus Cantonese keeping his team in the locker room fairly long period of time here. Any particular reason? Maybe just had a little more to say, huh?
I think probably kept the boys in there a little bit, getting them warmed up, and I think we're going to see a heck of a second half, because I know 2 quarters for the state championship. Perry, you know, I thought that they played a heck of a game. I thought they would be down by at least a couple of scores in the first half, and they hung in there. And I think we should hold on to our hats, because I think we're going to see some freewheeling football out of the Commodores. And like I said at the halftime report up here, I think we'll see the Dogs just grind it out.
All right, let's check in with Kevin Jordan right now down on the sidelines.
John, I talked to Coach George Curry as he came out of the locker room for the start of the second half. He said that the Bulldogs were surprised that Perry passed so much. He said the key to winning this game for Berwick will be to run a lot and to establish a short passing game. That's what the Bulldogs will try to do here in the second half. They're up 8-0.
Thanks very much, Kevin. As we pointed out, we're all surprised by the passing game by the Commodores thus far. It'll be interesting to see if they try to get that running game going in the second half.
And as I said, we didn't see that option too much in the first half. Maybe they'll come out now and maybe we'll see it. They run what is called a load option. That is one of their biggest plays, where they just simply block the end and they option the cornerback or the outside linebacker. That's what they ran to win the city championship, and that's what brought them here. But of course, you change things up in a big championship game like this.
George Curry is respected because he makes superior adjustments at halftime of every football game. It'll be interesting to see what he does to counter out the shotgun and what he does to cover their wide receivers now.
I think the cornerbacks for the Bulldogs are going to have to. They got suckered in a couple times, and they went for the interception. But I think Curry probably spoke with them, and he says the game of football is won upstairs as much as it's won on the field, and his boys are smart.
Really, as you look at that shotgun formation, what Perry is doing is they're flooding the zones, and the line's been handling the pressure of the blitz a couple of times. Kevin Woodishick got in there to deflect some passes, but they're overloading the zones. So basically, George is going to have to go man-to-man possibly and cover 2 and 3 players in that one area of the field.
Yeah, sometimes teams will let your ends fly right in, and sometimes it appeared like Perry was doing that with the ends of Berwick. And the passes were open there in the flat several times for the Commodores.
Well, as you know, the Berwick Bulldogs are ranked #1 in our coaches poll. They are ranked #1 by the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. They are ranked #1 by the Philadelphia Inquirer. The National Prep Poll, Associated Press has them at #1, and USA Today has them as the #4 team in the entire nation. USA Today, I believe the Bulldogs started at about 5 or 6 when the season began. They're up to 4 now. And with a victory today, well, who knows? Maybe they could be 1 or 2.
Well, that's one of the big incentives for the Perry Commodores in this game, John, is they felt that if they came in here and knocked off Berwick, which is ranked #4 in the entire country, they feel that they, if they beat Berwick, that they should be ranked right up there somewhere nationally, according to the USA Today. And the 52 defense, I might add, John, that the Bulldogs have been playing all year long and have been playing today, it is susceptible to the short pass and the overload patterns that Perry is running. So maybe George will make a slight adjustment there. Maybe we'll see them maybe go with a 6-man front, or maybe come back and go with a 44. We'll just have to wait and see.
The captains from both teams are just about set to meet at midfield for second half instructions from the referees. You will recall, well, this is interesting here in the second half. Both teams, well, at least the entire Perry team has walked out on the field. About half of Berwick's team has ventured out there. At the beginning of the game, just the captains went out there. So right now, we're talking intimidation here, a little psychological ploy on the part of both teams.
I talked to some of the Perry kids when I was out there in Pittsburgh earlier this week, John, and I asked them if they relied on intimidation like many city schools do, and they said no. They just simply play their games, play 100%, and let their abilities speak for themselves. They feel that they don't have to play a cheap type of football or an intimidation type of football.
To start this second half, the Berwick Bulldogs will receive. The Perry Commodores will defend the goal to our right.
Number 53 for the Commodores, John, is Ramon Walden, and I didn't get a chance to allude to it earlier. I did allude to it. His nickname is called the Accelerator. He's their #1 player on special teams, and he gets down there and makes some devastating hits on the kickoffs for the Perry Commodores. He calls himself the Accelerator because he says he accelerates down the field so fast, and he was one of the most colorful characters I spoke with earlier this week when I was out at Perry Academy.
We should add for you college football fans who are watching us right now that after the game, we're going to pick up a big game between Army and Navy, joined in progress from the Meadowlands. It's immediately following our broadcast, this Class 3A state championship game between the Berwick Bulldogs and the Perry Commodores.
John, the wind, as we stated at the top of the game, was blowing at 6 miles an hour. I don't feel it's changed that much, and I don't think it's that much of a factor. But one thing we have to look at now is the sun. I don't think it'll matter too much with the fly pattern straight down the middle, but a little crossing patterns or out patterns when the player is looking towards the sidelines, the sun could come into play.
The temperature at the start of this game, 22 degrees. The Commodores set to kick it off. Dennis Martin lets it fly. The Bulldogs have it. This is Mosage, and he brings it out over the 30-yard line before he's knocked down. So the Bulldogs are in business, 1st and 10 from the 30.
We saw Ramon Walden, the Accelerator. He got down there really fast, dove. It just missed a tackle, but Khalil Kurgis eventually on the kickoff tackle for the Commodores.
Hi, Dad.
Perry, more than likely, John, will stick with that 4-4. They had pretty decent success with it towards the end of that first half, so I don't think we'll see any changes there.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs, split backfield. Kelchner, the handoff to Kowalski, off tackling, he picks up 4.
There's the old bread and butter play again, the old counter trap, number 74. Johnny Bowman pulled from his right guard slot and went over, and there was a pretty decent hole there initially for Kowalski.
Joe Kowalski, who George Curry refers to as Killer Kowalski, says he has the highest threshold of pain of any player on the team. He plays when he is hurt.
I believe he played with 8 stitches in his chin, or practiced this week with 8 stitches in his chin. He slipped in the shower.
2nd and 7 for the Bulldogs. Split backfield once again. Kowalski hits the other side, and he's stopped at the 36. Picks up about 1.
Same play, other side. Brad Winter, number 72, pulled this time for the Bulldogs. Maurice Turner came all the way up from his safety position and stopped what could have been a big gain for the Bulldogs, because Winter made a great block initially, but Turner came up and stopped that play, and they only got 1.
First possession of the second half for the Bulldogs, 3rd down and 5 situation. George Curry said at halftime he'd like to get that short passing game going. Here's an opportunity to see that short pass. Split backfield again. Kelchner, the fake, bootleg. This is one of his favorite plays, but the Commodores didn't bite.
Mike Coates, number 32, from his right inside linebacker slot, came up, and that play was going nowhere from the start, and that was a design play for Kelchner just to sort of bootleg it around the left side. And I thought we would see the Bulldogs go to the air there.
Important defensive series for the Commodores, trying to establish momentum here in the second half. They stopped the Bulldogs on their first possession. Kelchner will now have to punt. Maurice Turner and Lewis Clark back to receive the punt. Kelchner, short kick. It's fielded by Turner, and he takes it out over the 50-yard line.
Pretty gutsy catch by Turner.
The Commodores with good field position for their first possession of the second half.
Eric Bauer down there initially. Eric Bauer, we've been calling his name a lot. He's having a great game for the Bulldogs.
A 23-yard punt for Joe Kelchner. The ball right at midfield, 50-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Commodores. Come out in the I formation. Kevin Amin calls signals. This is Ramon Hart, hits the left side and picks up 3 or 4.
Budashik on the stop. Initial contact for the Bulldogs. Garden also helped out. Nothing fancy there by Perry. Right ahead of their bread and butter guy. Like we said, 122 yard per game average coming in for Hart, John, and somewhat surprised that he hasn't broken one yet.
Don't be surprised if The Bulldogs come with the blitz on this play. 2nd and 6. I formation. I'm in.
And you called it, John.
To Hart, and he is knocked back to the 50-yard line.
Dwayne Koch came on the blitz, John. Great call. Koch came from his right inside linebacking slot on the blitz, and that play was going nowhere.
The Commodores trying to establish their running game on the first 2 plays to get that passing game a little more room. But right now they have a 3rd down and 8 at the Berwick 48.
Just a great job. Koch was also helped out by Kevin Wudashik. Koch also plays with that attitude I spoke about earlier.
I formation, 3rd and 8. I'm in, rolls right. He's
Koch again.
Dwayne Koch on the sack.
Everybody was coming for the Dogs. Great coverage in the secondary.
Dwayne Koch leads the Berwick team in sacks this year with 13.
Here we see it on slow motion. Good job by him this time not to just throw it up like he did earlier. Koch all the way, and he had him. He had a lot of help.
4th down. The Commodores will have to punt. Lewis Clark back at about his own 30. High snap. Clark with a low kick. Kelchner fields it at the 22. To the 25. 30. And he goes down. Heavy hit on the far sideline. And Kelchner gets up slowly.
Abu Whitaker over there laid a big stick on Kelchner.
3rd quarter, 7:19 to go. Berwick leading Perry 8-0. We'll be back right after this.
The First National Bank of Berwick is proud to be a part of the greater Berwick area. First National has played a vital role in the growth of our area for the past 125 years. We are pleased with the many activities and opportunities our area provides. That's one reason we continue to be a community bank and offer you the quality personal service you deserve. The First National Bank of Berwick, your full-service financial center for 125 years.
The Sunday Independent has served northeastern Pennsylvania for over 85 years with coverage of national, state, and local stories of interest, features on the person next door, politics, social happenings of the Valley, classifieds, and, of course, sports. Speaking of local sports, the Sunday Independent doesn't miss a beat. The Sunday Independent is the largest paid circulation Sunday newspaper in Luzerne County and is available at your local newsstand or for home doorstep delivery. Call collect 822-3111.
Back live at Hershey Park Stadium, 7:19 to go in this 3rd quarter. Berwick with the football, their 2nd possession, 3rd quarter. They lead the Perry Commodores 8-0. 2 teams with very good defenses, and we didn't expect to see a whole lot of points today.
No, I thought it would be just like this, 8-0, 12-0 Berwick, and Perry's really hanging in there. Got to take our hats off. If I had a hat on, I'd take it off.
1st and 10 at the 30 for the Bulldogs. Kelchner looks to throw. Looks for Wudashik, but it's deflected.
Great defensive play there, John, by number 32, Louis Clark on the play again. They had Wudashik. Kelchner was looking at Wudashik the whole time. Wudashik went about 10 yards, just a basic cut it in.
The Bulldogs throwing the ball on 1st down. You usually see a running play from those guys on 1st down, which brings up now a 2nd and 10 situation from the 30. It's force in motion, inside handoff, and it goes nowhere. Lost a yard.
Number 76, Denny Martin, blew right through there.
That was Wudashik on the carry. That is usually a big play for the Bulldogs. Wudashik coming from that tight end spot or that wing spot for that inside handoff. Usually that goes for 8, 9, 10 yards, but that time they didn't go for it, the Commodores.
Generally, if the Bulldogs are going to win, we're going to be calling Kevin Wudashik's name a lot.
Third down situation. The Bulldogs have made 2 of 7 thus far. 3rd down and 11. Kelchner hides it on the hip, lofts it over the middle, and it is deflected and knocked away, incomplete. Ramon Hart with the big defensive play. So that'll bring up a 4th down for the Bulldogs, a punting situation once again. Again, Perry with a good defensive series. Their second of the second half. They stopped the Bulldogs cold on downs. Kelchner back at about the 18. Bad snap, he fields it. Short punt once again. Fielded at the 48 by Turner. And once again, the Commodores with excellent field position.
I think on that set of downs, John, the Commodores simply took Berwick out of their game plan. I was surprised to see him come out and throw on 1st down like that, and subsequently they had the punt. It could have been disastrous. The poor snap there. Kelchner smartly scooped it up and got it away, but Commodores with fantastic field position with 6:07 left in the 3rd quarter.
Just a 20-yard punt by Joe Kelchner. 1st and 10 now for the Commodores at the 48. Shotgun formation again. Amin throws to the flat, has his man.
Scrocky on the catch.
Ball will be placed at the 42.
Eric Bauer came up and had to get him by the ankles. And you're going up against a guy who was that tall, Scrocky, 6'5". We see the play here, and they just over in the flats like we spoke about. We saw the Dogs come with a 6-man front that time.
There's an 8-yard gain. 2nd and 2. Amin shotgun again. Rolls, throws out to the flat, and almost intercepted. Marty Force. That would have been 6 points.
Marty Force saw his name in headlines there, baby. Great play by him. Double coverage over there. And Amin forces that ball out. We see 56 tackles for Marty on the year.
We've yet to see the Commodores run the ball out of that shotgun formation. A 2nd and 2. Possibly you might have saw a run there, but they decided to throw the ball. So it's 3rd and 2 now at the Berwick 41-yard line. Amin, shotgun once again. Amin straight back, throws it over the middle. He's got Scrocky once again. 1st down.
Kelchner came up, made the tackle. Big pass play for the Commodores, and Amin kind of settling in. I think he should have used this shotgun formation earlier in the year because he's settling in and throwing the ball fairly nicely, as we see here. Just nothing fancy. Scrocky just broke it over the middle in that seam right in front of Kelchner. And a big gainer and a big play for Perry. 14-yard gain and a 1st down. 1st and 10. The Commodores with the momentum. They are driving. The shotgun formation is causing the Bulldogs fits thus far. Coke on a blitz.
He goes up top, looks for Hart, and it's incomplete.
Oh, fantastic play by Eric Bauer, John. Just timed his jump perfectly and knocked that ball away from Ramon Hart. Great play by Bauer, and as I said, we've been calling his name all day. He was hurt earlier on in the game, and great play. And may I add, John, in the 3rd quarter all season long, the Dogs have only allowed 6 points.
Again, Amin lofting that ball up there to Hart. And a good defensive play, the size differential between the Perry receivers and the Berwick defensive backs. 2nd and 10 for the Commodores. Ball at the 27 of Berwick. Amin.
Movement on Perry. Right side of the line.
Flags all over the place.
That's going to go against the Commodores, John.
Bulldogs will accept the penalty, move them back another 5 yards.
Dead ball. Illegal procedure on the blue.
.454 to go in this 3rd quarter. The Commodores driving. Great crowd made the trek from Berwick today here at Hershey Stadium. They almost had the entire far stands filled up.
Wonder who's shutting off the lights tonight in Berwick.
2nd and 15. This is Amin. Pressure again. Throws it up there. And it's complete. Lewis Clark pulls it down.
What great concentration by Louis Clark. Eric Bauer seemed to have him, and he just hung on. Amin got the ball up there perfectly.
Watch it again. Amin throws it straight up. Really can't fault the coverage here at all. Just a great catch on the part of Louis Clark. So it's 1st and goal for the Commodores at just about the 1-yard line of the Bulldogs. Louis Clark, a great catch. Amin goes with the sneak.
I don't think he got in.
He's not in. He's close, though. Second and goal.
Tommy Robsock down underneath, got low, and didn't allow Turner to get in there.
It's a game of inches, and you see how close that football is to the goal line. Second and goal. The Bulldogs need a goal line stand here. I formation. Amin once again, the sneak, and he's in. The Commodores are on the scoreboard. They've cut the Berwick lead to 8-6.
Barry's going to call a timeout here, John, and discuss what they want to do on the extra point.
Will they go for 2 or will they kick it?
Terry Martin is a sure-footed kicker as we see the slow-mo replay of Amin's touchdown. Nothing fancy, just straight up the gut. And usually when they run that quarterback sneak, they would move big Otis Townsend over and usually run right over him and the right guard. They move him over from his right tackle position, but that time Otis stayed there, and Amin got a great block by number 55, Wayne Nagel, the right guard, and Ted Carter, the center.
The Commodores discussing what they're going to do here. They now trail the Bulldogs 8-6. Just over 4 minutes to go in this third quarter. The Class 3A state championship is at stake.
Dennis Martin, John, can kick it. That's no problem.
George Curry out on the field, talking with his players.
Very impressive drive by Perry.
Good field position, both possessions in this third quarter. The Bulldogs had 2 drives that started at their 30 and ended up on downs. But really, that passing game, that shotgun formation, which we didn't expect coming in, has really been effective thus far. Commodores are going to go for 2.
They got down here by passing the ball, John, and if they ran it, I'd be surprised.
This is Louis Clark in the end zone, and it is deflected. Intercepted.
Ryan Anderson, as we spoke about earlier in the game, John, Anderson has broken up numerous passes throughout the year. A great leaper. Just a great play.
Third quarter. The Bulldogs now lead the Commodores 8-6. We'll be back in just a moment.
If you use electric heat, this Alaska Stoker stove will save you up to $1,000 or more every year. This beautiful cast iron Stoker stove can heat your entire house and water, and you don't need to build the chimney. Plus, Alaska stoves are automatic. They burn up to 4 days at a time, and you never shake a grate. Alaska Stoker stoves. See one burning today. Call 1-800-HOT-BTUs for your nearest Alaska stove dealer. That's 1-800-HOT-BTUs.
Ford F-150's winning the world over with power, savings, and value Chevy can't match. Now get a big 5-liter V8 engine and automatic overdrive transmission at no extra charge. A savings of over $1,400. Tough Ford F-150, big V8 and automatic transmission, a real big value. America's #1 selling full-size pickup just got better automatically at your local Ford dealer now.
Save over $1,400 on the 1990 F-150 only at your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
We're back live at Hershey Park Stadium. 4:04 on the clock here in the third quarter. The Commodores have just scored against the Bulldogs. They missed the 2-point conversion. Berwick leads by the slimmest of margins, 8-6.
Denny Martin may kick the ball on a line drive here, John. He may not want the Bulldogs to get a big return.
It is a low liner right up the middle. Kowalski will field it at about the 8, 15, 20, 25. He has an opener. He could go 40, 45, 50. 45. Great return by Joe Kowalski.
That's exactly what the Bulldogs needed, John. Perry marched right down the field the last possession. As tempers get a little out of hand on the field, things are broken up. Maurice Turner eventually stopped Kowalski from going all the way, and he is their big, big man as of late when they need a big play.
Watch it again. Watch him follow Masic. Right up the middle. Masic with a good block. Picks his opening.
Great job by Kowalski, as you said, just watched his blocks.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at the 45. They shift into the I. Kelchner hands it off. Kowalski once again. Pickup of about 4. Ramon Hart on the tackle.
That time they bring Robbie Burke, number 77, put him in the backfield, just line him up off to the left, right off the line. And nothing but smash face football. They just follow him. Blast right over big Robbie Burke.
The Berwick crowd has come to life. 2nd down and 6 for the Bulldogs. Again, in the I. Kelchner to Masic. Big gainer. Could have the 1st down.
There we saw the same exact play. That time they headed off to Masic. Robbie Burke is moving some people out over there, as is that whole left side, left tackle Brad Winter, only a junior, but the Dogs love to go over him. Shane Dietrich also a nice block.
Well, we should call Shane Dietrich's name. Doesn't get to carry the ball very often, but he has a fine blocking back. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. The handout.
Counter trap right side. Tommy Robsock pulls off his left guard slot, just comes over, kicks out the first man he sees.
Kowalski with another good gainer down to the 30. Kowalski trots off. Masic comes back in. 2nd and 7 for the Bulldogs. At the 30. The Commodore 30. They're sticking with the I. The pitch to Masic, hits the left side, picks up a couple.
Big hit underneath there. We haven't called Otis Townsend's number very many times. I think he was in on the bottom of that pile.
Otis Townsend being recruited by the University of Pittsburgh. Another Division I prospect on his Commodore football team. The clock reads 1:35. 3rd and 5 for the Bulldogs at the 29. Kelchner, bootleg, turns the corner, tries for the 1st down. He's down there. We'll have to see if he'll make it.
I think he's going to be a tad short, John, maybe by a yard or so.
4th and about 1. So we're looking at about 4th and 1 for the Bulldogs. A little bit more than 1 yard.
Ramon Walden was over there for the stop. Linebackers are really the heart and soul of that Perry defense, along with their ends. Big play here.
4th and 1. Less than a minute to go, 3rd quarter.
There they go.
They did it again.
They've done that so many times this year. And the teams that the Bulldogs have been playing see it every time, and it's just the opposing teams just have to use their heads and watch that ball.
You will recall in the Dunmore game, Eastern Conference Championship, on that final Berwick drive, when they ran out the clock, Kelchner did the same exact thing, but wait.
Good ball. Woo.
The Perry Commodores were celebrating. I don't know why. The penalties against them.
They thought it was going to be on Berwick.
Yeah.
But Kelchner comes to the line, moves back in a punt formation, and it seems like they always get one player to jump.
Chad Scrocky, I think, was the guy who went across the line there.
Gus Cantonese incensed on the Perry sideline. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. They're at the 20. The handout. Nothing there.
Mike Coates came over, made the stop with a little help from Maurice Turner.
Tackle made by Mike Coates. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10.
You know, we've talked a lot with George Curry this week. One of the things we had to ask him was, what kind of effort did he expect today to win this ball game?
Aaron Hershey, and we want to bring back a state title. We'll do it. If we go through the motions like we did in the first half last week, it's gonna be another dogfight.
So that's the end of the third quarter. The Bulldogs lead the Perry Commodores 8-6. When we resume, it will be 2nd down and 10.
Daytime, nighttime, anytime's the right time. Time Markets, we've got the time for you.
It's TV time. Time to head for Time Markets for a video and munchies like Pardo's Perky Peanuts and Cashews, fresh donuts, deli items, oven roasted chicken, Time Markets milk and bread, and fresh Maxwell House coffee, all from Time Markets.
This program is brought to you in part by Bennett's Restaurant, a pleasant interlude from the cares of the day. The Berwick Hospital, 16th Street, Berwick. Total Amusements Incorporated, Berwick. Cecil Schaefer representing Shenango Steel Buildings. ERA J.D. Kylan Company, Realtors and Insurance. Burger King Restaurants, Berwick and Bloomsburg. We say good luck, Bulldogs, in your attempt to bring home your 2nd consecutive state AAA championship. We are all proud of your accomplishments and thanks for all the wonderful memories.
Back live at Hershey Park Stadium. There you see it, the start of the fourth quarter. Berwick leading Perry 8-6. They're moving the football. 2nd down and 10 when we resume at the Perry 20. The momentum has suddenly shifted to the Berwick Bulldogs.
Well, I would have liked to have been in the huddle after Perry's touchdown. I bet you George Curry wasn't really happy, and I think the boys have responded big.
Kelchner calls signals. 2nd down and 10. Inside handoff. This is Mosage. But once again, he's stopped for a loss.
A huge, huge hit there. Number 12, Abu Whitaker, came up from the free safety slot and laid a lick on Mosage, the same play he scored the winning touchdown against Mannheim on last week.
Brad Winter leading the way, but he missed his block, and Mosage was knocked back. So now it's a 3rd down, 11 situation for the Bulldogs.
Dogs have consumed over 4.5 minutes on this drive, John.
Ball's at the 21 now. They've gone back to the eye. They shift out of it now. Kelchner rolls to his left, throws. He's got his man. Marty Force once again.
Mike Coates on the stop, and nothing fancy about the pass pattern. Force will line up far side in his wide receiver slot and just go about 6 yards and quick look in right in front of number 42, Louis Clark. I almost think if Marty would have given a little more of a juke to the inside, cut it back out, he may have been able to score, but his momentum carried him back to the inside. He hung on to it.
They're going to measure for the 1st down now, but I believe he does have it.
He's got it.
In fact, he does. First and goal from the 9 for the Bulldogs.
Marty Force has caught 31 passes coming into the game, 475 yards receiving. He's a gritty player. He was one of our Athlete of the Weeks several weeks ago.
First and goal for the Bulldogs, who are driving, leading Perry 8-6. High formation. Kowalski. He bounces off and gets just about a yard. That Perry line is really playing it tough now.
Harry Jackson on the stop, and they just went over Robbie Burke again. That power blast.
Nothing fancy about that play.
No, and I think that's exactly what the Dogs are going to do. It's just try to grind it out at this stage of the game. They're winning the battle of the line of scrimmage they have all day.
2nd and goal from the 9. Force goes in motion. Kelchner He rolls. He cuts to the outside, cuts it in, gets down to the 5. Third down once again.
Joey Kelcher can do so many things. He's the heart and soul of the Bulldog team. He's a leader, and from a lot of people say he's one of the strongest kids, and he showed that grit all year long. He doesn't mind mixing it up when he gets down there. He'll put his head down.
Like his brother Jake now at Notre Dame, great leadership qualities, quieter than his brother Jake, but nonetheless very effective on a football field. 3rd and goal for the Bulldogs. Kelchner keeps it and falls forward to about the 4, which brings up 4th down.
Kelchner faked the inside handoff to Kowalski there. Had me faked out even. Dennis Martin and Mike Coates on the stop. George is going to call a timeout, and a big play coming up for the Dogs.
George Curry's going to talk about it. 9:04 left in the 4th quarter. The Bulldogs, a 4th down situation, lead Perry 8-6. We'll be back in a moment.
Wise Foods. Berwick proud.
Hi, I'm Rich Walton, Berwick High School principal. I am proud to be associated with this community, our students, and its fine football team.
Wise Foods, makers of Wise potato chips and other fine snacks.
We make the best Stoker stoves today. A 4-day burn leaves you with more leisure time. You never shake a grate. There's no dust to clean up. It's totally automatic. There's no overheating or chimney fires. Does your old stove do this for you? It's time you got an Alaska Stoker stove. See one burning today. Call 1-800-HOT-BTUs for your nearest Alaska stove dealer. That's 1-800-HOT-BTUs.
We are back live at Hershey Park Stadium. Earlier this week, we asked quarterback Joe Kelchner of the Bulldogs what he thought of this Perry defense.
Yeah, I think they're quicker than Manheim, to tell you the truth. They're an awesome defense. I haven't seen a defense like that all year.
Joe Kelchner, a man of few words, very effective on a football team, an excellent football player. As we mentioned, Division I scouts in all week to look at this kid. 4th down for the Bulldogs. They're going to go for the field goal. Man goes in motion. It's a fake. This is Kelchner. Throws back to the far side. Didn't work.
I think they had him fooled initially. Kelchner just underthrew his man.
So the Commodores will take over the football at the 3-yard line.
Jason Slusser almost came up with it, but even if he had caught it, he was going down.
In any event, really, Berwick could not lose on the play, because if the play didn't work, like what happened, still,
exactly,
they're going to leave it up to their defense to hold them down here by the goal line. Just under 9 minutes to go. Berwick up by 2, 1st and 10. This is Amin, and he takes it out to about the 7. The Commodore is not going to play any games down by the goal line in a tight ball game like this.
Ryan Anderson on the stop.
2nd and 7 for the Commodores. As they make some substitution. Lewis Clark comes in with the play. The Berwick defense has done it all season long. 2nd and 7, I formation. Amin brings it down the line again, the same play, and he brings it out to the 9-yard line.
Mark Haycock made the nice stop. It looked like at first as if Amin was going to go with the option there, and he quickly cut it back inside. 3rd down, going to be a big call for Perry here, because they throw it, it could be intercepted. They're deep in their own territory.
The Bulldogs bringing a nickel back. I formation, 3rd and 5. Pass out to the flat. Hart is out there, but it's knocked away.
Gary Campbell comes in on the nickel situations, John, and you see why. Because he's a great defender. He made a great play on Ramon Hart, who came out of the backfield. That play was successful earlier in the game for the Commodores, where Hart just swings out into the flats, as we see it here.
Campbell just came into the ball game for this reason, and he came up big.
Fantastic play, timed it perfectly.
They did it the way they teach you. Go with that left hand. Lewis Clark in his own end zone. Kowalski at about the 35. Short, very short punt. And it'll be down at about the 32-yard line. So the Bulldogs are in great position.
Big play right there. Not a very good punt, and the Dogs are in business with 7:31 to go in the third.
Our team. Just a 23-yard punt.
Dog defense, one of their better stands of the game.
Some third quarter statistics. The Commodores, the running game a little more effective here in the third quarter. Berwick, meanwhile, 9 plays for 27 yards. A defensive battle all the way. Bulldogs 1st and 10 at the Perry 32. They need to come away with some points.
Rob Burke in at left tackle now for the Dogs.
Here's the quick pitch to Dietrich, his first carry of the day, and he takes it to the 30.
Berwick fans wanted a flag there, John. They thought there was a little late hit. Shane Dietrich, one of those guys we don't hear his name called very much, but a lot of great blocks for the Dogs over the season, and he's an instrumental part of it.
2nd down and 8 for the Bulldogs. 6:48 on the clock here in the fourth quarter. They lead it by just 2 points.
Just a little pitch right there.
We have an official's timeout on the field for equipment repairs. That was taken care of quickly. And the clock is moving once again.
We see number 7, Ronnie Paulus, into the game for the Dogs. First time we've seen him today. Usually when we see him, he's in as a quarterback. And they could maybe swing it over to Paulus out of the backfield. Maybe they'll throw a little halfback option. We'll have to see. 2nd down and 8.
Paulus, the backup quarterback's in there. He throws it for the end zone, incomplete.
That's what happened. Paulus came in.
But there is a flag on the play.
A late hit on Paulus. He's the future of the Dog program, and he came in, and there's a big play. You saw his arm there, overthrew Kevin Wudashik, who had double coverage on him. But a big play nonetheless, because the Dogs get the big penalty.
So it'll be almost to the 15-yard line.
I think the penalty will be on number 11, Maurice Turner.
Defensive pass interference, automatic first down.
It wasn't a late hit, John. It was interference.
We have a score on that college football game between Army and Navy. They are in the first quarter. Navy is leading Army. Army favored in this contest by the count of 9-0. We'll pick up that game in progress following this one. So the Dogs are 1st and 10 at Perry's 15. I formation. Kowalski bounces to the outside, all the way down to the 8, and we have another flag.
More than likely a hold there. Brad Wenner, I think, got his arms up on number 76, Denny Martin. Kind of grabbed on. It's cold. Wanted to keep his hands warm. Yeah. Got him up in his armpits, maybe. I don't know. They're going to march it off against the Dogs.
Personal foul, 72.
He did something. He didn't hold him.
It's here in the fourth quarter on these final few drives that You cannot have these kind of penalties. This is a big one, 15. Brings the ball all the way back to the 33-yard line of Perry. Bulldogs have to get all the way down to the 5-yard line for a first down. 1st and 28. Just under 6 minutes to go, 4th quarter. Bulldogs shift out of the eye. Kelchner. Rolls left. He's throwing, and the ball is intercepted. Lewis Clark cuts in front of Marty Force. So Perry comes up big on the defensive end. Big defensive play by the Commodores. Berwick still leads it, 4th quarter, 8-6.
Nothing moves you like a Mercury.
Mercury Grand Marquis is big on comfort with its plush 6-passenger interior. It's big on space with one of the largest trunks of any American-made car. And with a big $500 savings on an option package that includes all this, it's no wonder that so many people are big on Mercury Grand Marquis. Grand Marquis at your Lincoln Mercury dealer.
Nothing moves you like a Mercury.
The First National Bank of Berwick is proud to be a part of the greater Berwick area. First National has played a vital role in the growth of our area for the past 125 years. We are pleased with the many activities and opportunities our area provides. That's one reason we continue to be a community bank and offer you the quality personal service you deserve. The First National Bank of Berwick, your full-service financial center for 125 years.
Back live at Hershey Park Stadium. There you see Chopper 22. The Berwick Bulldogs lead the Perry Commodores 8-6. Bob Gobla and Dave Jones doing a great job up above to bring us some of these pictures today. Big play defensively by the Commodores, stopping a Berwick drive.
And I don't really think that hurt the Dogs too much, John. It kind of worked like the previous series for them, where they lost the ball on downs deep in their own Perry territory. So here the same thing works.
1st and 10 at the 18. Shotgun. Amin looking. Amin throwing over the middle, incomplete. Good coverage by the Bulldogs that time.
Joe Woods, the intended receiver on that play, just cut it across the middle. Crossing pattern by the ends. That's one of their favorite pass plays. And Amin again threw into a lot of coverage there. Kind of lucky one of the Dogs didn't come and swipe it. He had a lot of time on that pass play. 2nd and 10 now. Nickelback is in once again. Amin lofts it up there. It's anybody's ball, and it's complete. Lewis Clark on the near sideline. Again, Amin had some good time, and again, Amin just simply threw it up for grabs. It looked, and Marty Force must have been watching the man, and he didn't see the ball coming because it looked like he could have picked it off.
Once again, we talked about it a few times already, the height differential between the defensive backs of Berwick and the receivers of Perry. That time it came into play. 1st and 10 for the Commodores at the 40. Amin, shotgun, throws out to the flat to Woods. He's got it, sidesteps and goes out of bounds. Pickup of about 8.
Working on those flats again. Working on Marty Force.
Under 5 minutes to go. The Commodores are driving. They're at the 49. Brings up a 2nd down and just 1 yard to go for the first. The Berwick crowd is alive. They need big defensive plays here in the final 5 minutes.
Little draw.
Hands off to Hart. Great defensive play.
Great play. Mark Haycock out of his left inside linebacking slot. That was going nowhere. The draw to Hart.
A loss of 4 on the play. So Haycock comes up big. 3rd and 5 for the Commodores now, and they'll have to pass.
Haycock's not very big, 5'10", 170. Not very big, but he is fast, one of the fastest defenders on the Bulldog defense, and he showed his quickness right there, scooted right through and tripped up Hart right by the ankles.
Ball is at the 45. Amin is in the shotgun. Straight back, looks to the flat. He throws it out there.
It could be a loose ball. They're calling it incomplete. It was close.
Very close.
It was a big play, though. Dwayne Koch, again, on the pressure.
So that brings up a punting situation for the Commodores. Just over 4 minutes to go.
We watch it here. Louis Clark over there, left side, and he heard footsteps. Gary Campbell was again in on a nickel situation, was charging. I don't think a fast play would have gone anywhere had it been successful.
So the Bulldogs have to be careful. They haven't even dropped anybody to field a punt right now. In fact, they're going to just let him kick it away. And Clark boots it down to the 24-yard line. So Berwick didn't even send a man back, didn't even want him to handle the football. They were just going to give him the punt.
In this big a game, John, that's smart. Nothing but smart football by George Curry. Why take the chance of letting it take a rocky bounce off one of those pieces of ice down there and hit somebody?
Let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Kevin Jordan.
John, the only thing prouder than a Berwick football player today may be the parent of a Berwick football player. I have Herb Woodishuk here, Kevin Woodishuk's dad. Herb, what about this ball game?
It's really a close one, Kevin. It's the way we thought it would be, and we're just glad that Kevin had a chance to be part of this great football town.
He's playing a good game on both sides of the ball this afternoon.
He is having a good game, and the whole team is, and we're just hoping they're going to come out a winner.
They're going to win this one?
I think so. I hope so.
Okay, that's how one of the parents feels, John.
Thank you, Kevin. First down play by the Bulldogs. Didn't go anywhere. Kowalski on the carry. 2nd and 10 for the Bulldogs. 3 minutes, 24 seconds on the clock. The Bulldogs looking to become the first Pennsylvania school to win back-to-back state championships. They're going to work that clock.
Only 3:05 to go.
2nd and 10. High formation. Kelch, the pitch. Fumble, loose ball. The ball is still loose. It's at the 10. Let's see who has it.
That was disaster right there for the Bulldogs, and it appears the Commodores have come up with it. And that's exactly what the Bulldogs did not want to happen.
Perry football. Costly turnover.
I think Chad Scrocky forced the big play. Matt Mossich just didn't get the handle on it. He went to take the pitch.
Wild scramble for the football. Perry had 5-6 players in there. So it's 1st and goal from the 7.
That was a tremendously huge play in this game with 2:35 to go.
Amin rolls right. Lofts it up into the end zone, and nobody there. It goes right out.
And that's a play they've used all year long, John. They just simply take their 2 big ends and loft that ball up there at 6'5" and 6'1". That's all you have to do, and they just kind of play basketball. Amin just throws it up there, and they jump at that time. Amin threw it out of the end zone.
Keep in mind, the Bulldogs are up by just 2 points. Perry has a very good field goal kicker, and this is well within his range if they don't run it in or pass it into the end zone. 2nd and goal from the 7. This is Ramon Hart. He tries to turn the corner.
Great pursuit by the Bulldogs.
Penalty flag. Penalty on the play. Could be late hit.
Face mask. Face mask.
Dogs not helping themselves at all. Just a basic little handoff to Hart, and he cut it back outside. Ryan Anderson came clear across the field, and you see it right there. Got him right by the mask, and a good call by the refs.
Right now, there's a timeout down on that field. They're looking to see exactly where they're going to set this ball up. Looks like it's at about the 2-yard line. 2:25 on the clock. A tough turn of events here in the last 30 seconds for the Bulldogs. Big fumble, face mask penalty. 2nd and goal from the 2. This is Hart. He's stopped, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Commodores.
Nothing but brute power by Ramon Hart. He was initially stopped about a yard back, kept his legs pumping, and he's in. And the Berwick side is silenced.
Watch it again, the 2nd effort on the part of Hart. Hasn't had much running room all day, but he battled his way into the end zone there. And the Commodores have the lead 12-8 with 2:10 on the clock. Still plenty of time for the Bulldogs to go on offense and work the ball down the field.
The George Curry teams are never teams, type of teams, John, do panic. 2:10 to go.
Right now there's a timeout. George Curry out there to talk with his players.
One play changed the entire face of this football game.
His ball club has probably never faced a tougher task during this 29-game winning streak than they face in this final 2 minutes and 10 seconds. 15-0 the Bulldogs a year ago. 14-0 coming into this contest. The Commodores are going to go for 2. Zamin rolls to the right, pressure's on, throws it up, and the ball is caught in the end zone.
That's just what we got done talking about.
Joe Woods with the catch.
Joe Woods at 6'5", nothing fancy. And those big guys, they can make Amin a hero in a hurry. As you see, Amin dropping back, just lofts it.
The more I watch Kevin Amin, the more I really believe that that loft pass is designed. It's not a case of him having a weak arm or just being forced. It's a design play when he has wide receivers that are 6'3", 6'4", and 6'5".
I agree with you.
So let's set the stage. 2:10 to go, 4th quarter. The Bulldogs trail 14-8. Let's hear from Ramon Hart, who just scored.
I just run inside. I like running inside, using more power than anything. Power and reading blocks.
Well, Ramon Hart read his blocks on that go-ahead touchdown to give the Commodores the 14-8 lead. 2:10 on the clock. The Class 3A state championship at stake. Low kick. The up man takes 30 and knocked down at the 34-yard line.
Steve Malowski on the return, an up man, not used to handling the ball, but he hung on to it. 2:05 to go, and it's
the last time the Commodores kicked off, they kicked a low liner and Kowalski came up with it. This time they got it to one of the big up men who can't run very well. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs, 33. Kelchner rolls to the left. He's forced out. Kelchner is brought down. What are they going to call? An incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass, and that was pretty close. He was pressured there by number 80, Harry Jackson, who came all the way over from the left side and forced Kelchner to get rid of it.
High above Hershey Park Stadium, Chopper 22. Under 2 minutes to go. The Bulldogs' backs are against the wall. Give Joe Kelchner credit on that one. He saw he was going to go down for the big loss, and he decided he'd throw it away. 2nd and 10, the 33. Kelchner drops again. He's going to go long. And the ball is intercepted by the Commodores.
Maurice Turner came up with it, John, and that very well could be the ball game. Double coverage down there on number 34, Matt Mosic. And Turner was not fooled. As we watch it, Kelchner throwing all the way. Good time. And he let it rip. Masic had to come back for it a little bit, and that allowed Turner to set up.
Getting that ball hung up there. 1:36 on the clock, and it's running. Bulldogs trail 14-8. There you see it. They can run the clock out. Nothing fancy here. Amin just going to take it off the tackle.
The Bulldogs have the ball. What are they going to call it here? Number 75, Tommy Robsock, came up with the ball. He stripped Amin of the ball. Berwick football. That happened so quickly, I couldn't even see it happen, but that's exactly what they're calling. Robsock
with the big play.
If we can watch it on the shadows there. Right there, the big guy stripped it right out of the hands of Amin. And that's a senior for you, Tommy Robsock, using his head, 6'5", 245 pounds. Wow. The last 2 or 3 minutes, 2 humongous plays by both teams' defenses.
First down at the 22. Under a minute to go. Kelchner calling signals. It's back to throw. Looks over the middle. Woodishek has it. He's down to the 7. The Bulldogs got to get to the line of scrimmage.
Never count this team out, John. I'm kind of chuckling to myself. Right before that play by Tommy Robsock, the Berwick fans were leaving. Now all of a sudden they're heading back in.
Great pass by Joe Kelchner. It had to be on the money. Double coverage. Woodishek comes up big. Timeout on the field called by Berwick. When we resume, they will be at the 8-yard line. 40 seconds on the clock, and they trail by 6. The toughest thing here is now the clock. 40 seconds. Some of the Berwick fans were starting to file out when Tom Robsock made that big play stripping the football.
And Gus Cantonese, the Perry head coach, is letting the referees have it. But as you saw in the replay, Robsock stripped the ball. Beautiful.
Timeouts remaining. Berwick has 1, Perry with 2. Be interesting to see if they're going to call 2 plays in the huddle. They'll just call the 1 play, call another timeout. First and goal. The ball is on the 8. 40 seconds on the clock. Man goes in motion. Kelchner rolls. He's going to take it. 5. Down at the 2. Heavy hit.
Whoa. Number 21 on the hit.
Ramon Hart with the big hit on Kelchner. Takes it down to the 2.
Like we talked about earlier, Joey Kelchner will take the hit for you. Oh, that's why Ramon Hart's going to go to a Division I school as a linebacker.
Berwick has called their final timeout.
27 seconds to go. And I don't see the Dogs doing anything fancy here, John. They've been winning the battle of the line of scrimmage for most of the game.
27 seconds on the clock. The ball is at the 2-yard line. I still can't believe the play by Robsock.
Incredible. I mean,
that's all you can do in a situation like that is strip the ball, and you wonder why Amin tried to run it. You know, why didn't he just go down?
Exactly, exactly.
There's your timeout situation. Berwick has none remaining. Perry with 2.
That's what George Curry says. The game is won as much upstairs in these kids' heads as it is on the field. And Tommy Robsock, an extremely brilliant play. And the Dogs are going for the winning touchdown.
27 seconds to go. 2nd and goal for the 2. Here comes Kelchner. He looks to cut it up. He looks for the end zone. He's going to throw. He's got his man. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
Gary Campbell on the catch, Johnny.
game is tied at 14.
There's a flag down. Illegal man downfield.
72 downfield.
We're going to bring it back.
Whoa. Brad Winter, I believe, was downfield, John.
Still second down. Joe Kelchner looks like he was going to run the ball, and that's when Winter probably broke off. So let's see where they're going to spot the football. 21 seconds still to go.
Right, I know. I got ineligible downfield. Replay to down.
2 more cracks for the Dogs. Boy, I thought they tied it right there. Gary Campbell juggled it, hung on, but to no avail.
2nd and goal from the 7 now. Bulldogs still with 3 shots to get into the end zone. Up to the line of scrimmage they come. Force on the wing, 4 wide receivers to the right. Kelchner rolls into the end zone. Oh, he had his man wide open.
Just threw it behind Matt Masic. He had him breaking across. They flooded that upper zone with 4 guys. Masic cut it right into the back part of the end zone, and Joey just simply threw it behind him.
A good play. Masic was open, but the pass was behind him. 3rd and goal from the 7. 17 seconds left now. Touchdown to tie. Kelchner looks, throws.
There's got to be a pass interference on Wunishek. They got him.
Interference in the end zone.
I think Louis Clark tripped up Kevin Wunishek. That's going to move the ball closer to the goal line. Half the distance. It'll be 1st and goal for the Dogs, John.
13 seconds.
Yeah. Pass interference. Defense. Automatic first.
So penalties down here in the final 25 seconds have loomed big.
I don't know if you're a coach, how you can last as many years as George Curry has without having stock in Alka-Seltzer or something.
Ball is at the 3. 1st and goal, just 13 seconds on the clock. Bulldogs down by 6. Kelch rolls, looks for the end zone. He's going to try to run, he throws, and what do we got?
It's a touchdown. The same play that was called back because of Winter being down earlier.
Curry says it's a flag again.
They're saying it crossed the line of scrimmage, maybe.
I got an illegal pass on the offense.
Well, if we see it on the replay, I think we will see that he was across the line of scrimmage. Let's watch it. Well, it's tough to tell at this angle. Thought he was going to run it.
They lose it down on that, too.
Really can't tell from that angle, but it will be 2nd down now.
7 seconds to go. The Dogs are going to have to throw it, and throw it quick if they want to get 2 more plays off.
Ball is at the 7. Look at that Berwick sideline.
There's nobody sitting down. You couldn't ask for any more in a championship ball game. This is unbelievable.
Goal from the 7. 7 seconds on the clock. Kelchner. He's got to get rid of it. Throws over the middle. Deflected. Incomplete.
Louis Clark, a tremendous play. They had Matt Masic breaking from the left side right across the middle. And Louis Clark came over and knocked it away.
3rd and goal now. Time left for 1 more play. You've gotten your money's worth from this one.
Until the awards have been presented to the respective schools.
This will be the final play. 2 seconds. Kelchner. He's going to try to run. He throws, and it's intercepted. The ball is intercepted.
The game is over, John. The Perry Commodores are the state AAA champions. And that's number 41, Darnell Farrow.
Darnell Farrow with the big interception.
The Perry Commodores have won it, John. And the Berwick side is shocked.
This game went right down to the final second.
Unbelievable. What a tremendous boost this is for the Perry team, the Perry program, and for the people and students of North Pittsburgh.
The final score, Perry Commodores win the Class 3A state championship by defeating Berwick 20-8 is the final. Aerial facilities for this broadcast were provided courtesy of High Reach Company, whose offices in Harrisburg and Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania, and branch locations in New Jersey and Virginia provide a full time of scissor lift and telescoping boom aerial platform equipment. Well, Chuck Howard, Berwick Bulldogs have failed in their attempt to become the first Pennsylvania school to win back-to-back state titles. But I'll tell you what, it went right down to the final second. They gave it everything they had.
I can't recall seeing a game like this where just the ebb and flow changed so dramatically in the fourth quarter. And here we see the final play of the game. Counselor a lot of time, and he just forced that ball in there. And boy, for a minute it looked like he could have run it. Right
His
there.
arm was hit as he threw it. Farrow was standing right there, and he lumbered.
By that time, the Bulldog players knew it was over anyways, and just, boy, too bad for the Bulldogs. They looked like they had the game in their back pocket until midway through that fourth quarter, and Matt Mosic dropped that pitch from Joey Kelchner, and that changed the whole complexion of the game.
The 29-game winning streak comes to an end. Let's listen in on George Curry.
You put your hands up. No horse shit. I don't want you.
George Curry obviously upset, telling his players they gave it their all. He's proud of his team. The Berwick fans are proud of the effort here today.
Well, hats off, you know, as I said earlier, John, hats off to this Perry team. I mean, they never once quit. And it just showed what a fine team they have, and they proved it. They hung in there the first half. They weren't getting any yards offensively on the ground, and they adjusted and went to that shotgun formation. And the Bulldogs just didn't adjust to it very well, plain and simple.
The Berwick fans still in the stands, remaining in their seats, probably still in a state of shock.
They aren't moving very much. They gave their Bulldogs a standing ovation, which they certainly deserve.
It's been a great season for this team and all the teams in northeastern and central Pennsylvania.
I kind of sense the Berwick side and the Berwick players are stunned. It's been so long since they've lost. And even I kind of feel stunned myself because you're not used to seeing a Berwick team lose. But
the turn of events in the final 2 minutes and 10 seconds of this ball game, simply incredible. The fumble by Berwick, the touchdown by Perry, the big play by Tom Robsock in the final minute to strip the ball from him in, and then those final plays down in the end zone, the two penalties where we thought we had touchdowns, but instead the ball was brought back out.
And the scary thing about this Perry team is that half of their starters are all juniors, and you can bet that we'll hear from these guys again next season.
And this Perry football team, they've taken a lot of criticism during the course of the year because they play in the Pittsburgh City League, that they're not the caliber of some of the other leagues around the state. Well, today they proved that they have a very good football team, and they are the state champions.
I thought we'd hear more from the Perry big men, Otis Townsend and Dennis Martin. I don't really think they were as much of a factor as we thought they were going to be early on, but we knew that the big guys on the end, Scrocky and Woods, we knew that they were going to be heard from, and we knew Ramon Hart was going to be heard from. and they did it for the Commodores.
Okay, so there you have it. The Perry Commodores defeat the Berwick Bulldogs for the Class 3A state championship, 20-8, the final.